Chapter 640. On the 1st of September, martial arts universities enrolled new students. On the 2nd of September, the biggest news was not the enrollment of new students, the expulsion of dozens of MCMAU students on the first day, or the attack of a few wild wolves by MCMAU students. The biggest news was the launch of a 3D game in open beta. The name of the game, Otherworld Invasion. All the major media and newspapers were promoting it too. MCMAU was even requested by the Ministry of Education to put up posters in MCMAU. Not only that. On the 2nd, Zhang Tao personally called Fang Ping. "Didn't you like to shoot commercials before? I've heard of it before. Fang Ping will teach you how to fight little monsters. Shoot another one this time. Fang Ping, you're still quite famous in the world. You know how to hype yourself up. Help me promote it this time." Fang Ping was stunned. Asking me to endorse a game? What was my status? I was a grandmaster. How could I do something like that? It was a dark history. Zhang Tao was a man, though. Fang Ping asked quickly, "Minister, what's going on with this game?" "It's a highly realistic catacombs invasion game," Zhang Tao said slowly. "This is a game jointly developed by many governments and private companies around the world. It's a game for all citizens based on the catacombs. Martial artists are busy, so they don't have time to play this. Ordinary people have more spare time, so they can still learn about the catacombs through games. Of course, we won't announce its existence to the public at the moment, but people who like games can play it. And those who like games are mostly young people." Fang Ping, do you understand what I mean? Fang Ping frowned. "Minister, games and reality are two different things. When the game becomes real, no, we're just giving some people a clearer idea. Everything in the game will be adapted according to reality, including the Battle of Capital City, the Battle of Tian'an, the Battle of Magic City. These large-scale battles will be recorded and become game dungeons. The pills, energy stones, energy fruits, and all kinds of maps will be replaced according to reality. This is also a way to popularize martial arts knowledge. Also, the film company is currently filming a movie to resist the Otherworld Invasion. My idea is to use the battle between MCMAU and Skygate City as a blueprint. What do you think?" Fang Ping muttered. "Is this preparation for the catacombs to be made public?" "Yes," Zhang Tao said in a serious tone. "Time waits for no man. Right now, there are 108 passageways all over the world, and more of them are opening up. We don't have much time left. Even if we perish, we must let the public know that we once bathed in blood and fought bravely. We have also won and defeated our opponents before. We still have a group of people who are still fighting against the enemy, sheltering them from the wind and rain." Fang Ping, that's why you have to accept this game advertisement. It was not convenient for the government to make an appearance now, so some private companies would cooperate with the publicity. Many people were playing the game anyway, so it didn't matter if there was one more. This game was made at a great cost. Just by collecting information about the catacombs from all over the world, the terrain, the materials, all these projects took up a lot of time. Actually, martial artists like you who like to travel around, you can also learn about them. How many of the 108 catacombs have you been to? How much can you understand about the Forbidden Zone just by talking about it? When the game comes out, the realistic 3D model will give you a clearer understanding. Of course, you can't waste your cultivation time on this. You still have to control yourself." At this point, Zhang Tao also said helplessly, "It's not easy to educate people. On one hand, I hope that you can learn more easily and learn more information, but on the other hand, I'm worried that you'll get addicted to it. You young people are giving us old people a headache." Fang Ping looked helpless. He was speechless. "Minister, is there a need to be like this? I've been to a few catacombs, and I've been to all the forbidden zones. How can I be attracted by a game? Is there more benefit in killing your opponent in the game than in reality?" What was old Zhang thinking? I was a grandmaster. My mentality was as high as a few thousand hertz. Would I get addicted to games? If a martial artist did not even have this bit of self-control, how could he be a martial artist? But then again, if he really made the catacombs into a game, it would be more interesting. After all, what was written in books and documents was not realistic enough. Moreover, Fang Ping had a poor sense of direction. It was not bad to understand it in detail through the game. Fang Ping thought of this and asked, Minister, if you asked me, a Grandmaster, to be your spokesperson, the endorsement fee, say that again? Endorsement fee, Zhang Tao said in an unfriendly tone. This is public welfare. Do you know what public welfare is? This is to prepare for popularizing the catacombs. You have the cheek to ask me for a fee? Fan Ping, you want to be a leader like this? How much did I give you for fighting the little monsters? If you can't do it, I'll give you 10 or 20 million. Is that enough? Fang Ping curled his lips. Forget it. This bit of money is not even enough to fill the gaps between my teeth. Forget it. I'll do it for free. I'm not even planning to get involved in these things anymore. I didn't expect to be forced to shoot advertisements. Fang Ping said it as if he had been wrong. I was poor and had no money in the past. Now that I'm so rich, I'm still doing this. However, he had to admit that promoting the game first, and then shooting a few catacombs battle promotional videos, it was relatively easier to let everyone gradually understand the catacombs, and then popularize it. Otherwise, if all the facts were revealed at once, the ordinary people might not be able to accept it immediately. After talking about this, Fang Ping asked, Minister, is there an introduction to the bounded zones in the game? No. I've already said that we don't know much about the bounded zones and the Forbidden Sea. When we understand more, we'll update it in the game. At this point, Zhang Tao said again. As for the filming, don't look for me. I'm too busy. Fang Ping rejected immediately. Anyway, there are many martial artists in this industry. Just do as you see fit. Actually, what I mean is, I want to make it more realistic. Use real monsters. Even, use real catacombs martial artists. Fang Ping was stunned. He could not help but say, there are thousands of martial artists participating in the Battle of MCMAU. The military might even reach up to 100,000 people, we'll see. We haven't decided yet. The military department will cooperate. Popularizing these through movies and games is also a good idea. That's true. Right, Minister, if we really want to make the Battle of MCMAU into a movie, I have a request. The actor who plays me must be handsome. Also, I must show my charm. As for the name. Actually, you can use my real name. I don't mind. Zhang Tao was speechless. After a while he said, We'll talk about it later. One last thing. MCMAU has gained a lot this time, Minister. Fan Ping suddenly had a bad premonition. He said immediately, MCMAU is so poor that they can't even afford to eat. This time, you're the one who made the biggest fortune. Zhang Tao's tone faltered. What you said makes sense. The point is, has MCMAU reached the point where they can't even afford to eat? Kid, you're going against your conscience. Do you really think I'm stupid? Ignoring him, Zhang Tao sighed softly. Fa Ping, it's not easy to take care of the other universities. Take NMAU for example. They have thousands of people, and the government allocates billions every year. Well, it's a little more now, but there are also more people. Wang Jinyang calls the department dozens of times a day. He cries a few times. What else can I do? During the Battle of Tiananmen in April, several martial arts university vice-chancellors died in the catacombs. This year's allocations have been allocated. We can't deduct their resources just because their vice-chancellors died in battle, can we? Instead, we should give them more. Other universities have few powerhouses. Entering the catacombs is really a narrow escape. Many students don't even have the most basic pills. Since MCMAU's conditions are passable, can you bear to see other universities sacrifice a few lives for a vitality pill? Then, what you mean is, MCMAU's allocation this year. Owe it for now. Zhang Tao sighed. Owe it. When there's a surplus in the head, I'll give it to MC Mayu. Fan Ping almost vomited blood. Is this what you're doing? Are you trying to fleece me? Without waiting for Fan Ping to speak, Zhang Tao continued. If it really doesn't work, if you're not feeling well, then come and slash me a few times. I'll give you 100 million for each slash. You can also slash me a few hundred times to repay the debt. It's really not easy in the department. I have no other choice. When a paragon decided to be shameless, there was nothing you could do about it. Slash you a few hundred times? Fang Ping gritted his teeth. Fine, you said it yourself. If I can't slash you to death now, you can be arrogant. When I can slash you to death, remember what you said today. It's only a few tens of billions of allocation. Zhang Tao, you even said this. Repay the debt with my body. Fine, I'll do it. Fang Ping gritted his teeth. Minister, since you've said so, can I say no? A few hundred $, right? Fine, I'll save it first. If you don't give MCMU the allocation next year, then it'll be $1,000. Just you wait. On the other end, Zhang Tao looked indifferent. At times like this, he would save whatever he could. This year, martial arts universities had expanded their enrollment by a few 100,000 people. They're all crying piteously for food. MC Mayu's mouth is dripping with oil. So what if you don't allocate tens of billions? A few hundred cuts? Are you really going to slash me, kid? Zhang Tao ignored him and quickly said, Then I'll get busy. I'm hanging up. Do. Old Zhang hung up the phone very quickly, not giving Fan Ping any time to speak. Fan Ping's face was full of anger. Bully! MC Mayu has money, and you embezzle it. Fine, let's wait and see. I'll hammer you two kids to death sooner or later. Thinking of this, Fan Ping picked up his phone and made a call. The moment he opened his mouth, he said, Zhang Yan and Zhang Shui, make arrangements for them to learn combat techniques. Get a few rank 6 instructors to guide them well. Remember, guide them well. On the other end, someone responded. No problem. They would guide them well. Everyone understood that only those who went through the hardest of hardships could rise to the top. After hanging up, Fang Ping exhaled and murmured, Looks like the era of national martial arts education is coming. Various countries had joined forces to create a catacombs game that was completely realistic. With vigorous promotion, there would be a large audience. In this day and age, martial artists truly existed. If the game was done well, perhaps it could inspire the hearts of some people to become martial artists. Moreover, this way, he could save a lot of time in the future. When the time came, all he had to do was tell everyone that everything in the game was real. Then, he would not have to teach these people basic knowledge anymore. As for the task of filming the advertisement, Fan Ping did not think too much of it. It was just fighting monsters. Thinking back to the time when he took on many advertisements in a day, this task could be done in half a day. The efficiency of a martial artist was truly fast. Zhang Tao made the call in the morning. In the afternoon, someone came to film Fan Ping. For a grandmaster powerhouse like Fan Ping, all the movements, language, and advertising messages were done in one go. The task was completed in less than 20 minutes. He was fast, but others were also fast. As soon as he finished filming the advertisement, some TV stations started broadcasting it that night. Therefore, in a day, the game Invasion of the Other World exploded in popularity. When the government decided to promote something, it could not be easier. Outdoor advertisements, online media, television media, when these publicity resources started to show their power, these things were no longer a problem. Such a large-scale promotion actually surprised some people. Games weren't good things. Although the officials didn't prohibit promotion, such a large-scale promotion, including some official media organizations, was still shocking. Of course, the government did not participate much. Only a few organizations mentioned it. As for Fan Ping, he became popular. From fighting monsters, Fan Ping became a hero, defending against the invasion of the other world. Fan Ping did not take any of this to heart. middle and high-ranked martial artists all knew that this was the truth. As for the general public, when they became martial artists and found out the truth, they would also know that Fang Ping's words that seemed to be promoting the game today were the truth. On the second, Fang Ping was busy with these. On the third, Fang Ping started to deal with some school chores. Nowadays, the Grand Masters in the school did not manage things, and those who went into the catacombs went into the catacombs. Old Wu went into the catacombs and brought along a group of people who could handle things. The new students had just enrolled, and the other instructors were also busy. At this moment, everything really became Fang Ping's. The school council and the martial arts society jointly governed the school. The school council became Fang Ping's, and the martial arts society became Qin Yunqi's. Therefore, in Qin Fengqing's words, MCMAU officially became Fang Wu. How was this MCMAU? The world was at home, okay. In the office, Fang Ping did not go back at all since yesterday. He had been signing documents and handling official business. Qin Fengqing waited in the Crystal Palace for a day. He could not wait any longer. He entered the door and said, "Fang Ping, we should continue with our business." He really could not wait. "What's the hurry?" Fang Ping looked annoyed. He said impatiently, "There are a lot of things to do in the school. The Vice-Chancellor and the others went to the catacombs to prepare to transform Skygate City. Even Instructor Tang and the others went to help. Right now, everyone else in the school is busy with the new students. Only you have the time to take care of yourself." Qin Fengqing was helpless and mumbled, "Who asked you to be the headmaster for no reason? Look at Tai Tu, it's so cool." Nothing happened at all. He said that he would guide students during this year's recruitment, but in the end he didn't. "He's even happier than me." After saying that, Qin Fengqing didn't continue and said, "Oh right, yesterday's game advertisement, what happened? It's based on the real situation in the catacombs. You can study it when you have time. No wonder the school is promoting it." Qin Fengqing understood and said, "Are you going to make the truth public?" "Actually, I don't think it's a good thing. To be honest, it's also our hope to let ordinary people live in peace. If it were to be made public, do you think it would still be like this? The problem is that we don't have enough time." Fang Ping sighed softly. "In another 2 to 3 years, all 108 passageways will be opened. When that time comes, what will happen will still happen. When that time comes, I'm afraid it'll be very difficult for us to stop the catacombs' all-out attack. Rather than panic and chaos at that time, it would be better to reveal the truth step by step now. That way, everyone will have some time to come to terms with it, so that when the catacombs invade, it won't be chaotic in an instant. If it really is chaotic, and billions of people are in a mess, just imagine that doomsday-like chaotic scene. Will it be better than now?" That's true. It was rare for Qin Fengqing to feel emotional. It was a good thing not to disclose the truth to ordinary people. At least everyone could live in relative comfort. If they really made it public, that might not be the case. However, the situation was getting worse and worse. There were more and more battles, and more people were dying. If this went on, they would not be able to keep it a secret. He might as well take this opportunity to unveil the veil bit by bit. Fang Ping did not continue. Instead, he said, "Inform Fatty that we'll be visiting Star City in mid-September." "All right. Go. Only at night," Qin Fengqing explained. "Star Town is actually situated in a barrier that is solidified by spiritual energy, similar to a domain. Because of the existence of the barrier, there is no way to transmit signals. However, they had an outer city. Fatty and the others would go online at night. At that time, only then would they be able to contact people." Fang Ping really did not know about this. He said with some surprise, "I thought they could communicate. Turns out they're in the outer city. These fellows are really free, going online at night. It's normal to know some information from the outside world. Otherwise, these fellows would have been out of touch with the times long ago. How could they still chat with us?" Qin Fengqing said. "Going to Star City this time, do something big?" Fan Ping's expression darkened. Do you think we're robbers? Besides, there are 12 paragons in Star City. Do you want to do something big? Are you sure you're serious? Seeing that Fan Ping was looking at him, Qin Fengqing explained. I'm not talking about doing this by force. What I mean is that there are many powerhouses in Star City, and there are many young people too. These people definitely won't be convinced by us. Let's do what we did last time, provoke them a little, get lost. Fan Ping cursed, then shook his head and said, It's not worth it. Huh? Aren't you stupid? Star City is actually not that rich. Rank 7 martial artists only have a divine weapon with them. What's a divine weapon? Fan Ping said indifferently. I don't lack divine weapons now. There's no need to offend people for such a small matter. The most precious things in Star City are the 12 paragons, followed by some information and historical documents that they have. These two are the most precious things in Star City. As for the rest, do I lack divine weapons? Do I lack energy mines? I don't lack anything. So, when we go this time, you better behave yourself. Otherwise, I won't care if you live or die. The current Fan Ping had also passed the time when he lacked everything. Right now, what he really lacked was time, and some great opportunities. Recently, Fan Ping had been using imperishable substances to hone his golden body and mentality. The effect was not bad. While Qin Fengqing was cultivating, he was also cultivating. Fan Ping was not anxious about achieving rank 8. Old Manly also gave him a suggestion not to be too impatient. According to Old Manly, the golden body of a rank 8 powerhouse was forged from refined steel. On the other hand, Fan Ping's golden body and golden bones were real. However, his was the kind of raw ore that was not refined enough. Fan Ping had to forge more. When his mentality guided his bone marrow and completed the final forging of the golden body, his golden body would be exceptionally strong. The reason why Fan Ping went to Star City this time was not because he wanted to get any resources. He was going with the intention of learning some secrets and history, including some information about the bounded domain and the martial artists who were resurrected. These were his core missions. Qin Fengqing felt a little regretful, but he did not say much. He said again, About our dual cultivation. At this time, outside the door, Qin Yinshi had just arrived. She looked at the two of them in shock. Fan Ping was not surprised. He had sensed Qin Yinshi's arrival. He just did not have time to slap Qin Fengqing to death. Seeing Qin Yinshi looking at him, Fan Ping smiled and said, Old Qin asked us to set 2 days off. What do you think about this? 2 days off, yes, we have to work and rest together. We can't just cultivate blindly. So, on the weekends I suggest everyone to relax and release some stress. Do you think what I said makes sense? Qin Yinshi nodded quickly. It made sense. Qin Fengqing looked at her like she was an idiot. This woman was so gullible. Fan Ping did not continue this topic. He asked, What's the matter? Yes, it's like this. Just now, Yuan went to the Martial Arts Society to apply to start a club. No! Fan Ping's face darkened. Qin Fengqing chuckled. Are you guys really going to make MCME your family? Do you want to wait for Qin Yunqi to graduate before Fan Yuan takes over as the president of the Martial Arts Society? Fan Ping, in these few years, MCME will really be your family. Shut up! Fan Ping scolded. His head hurt. Don't bother with her. Tell her on my behalf that she's not allowed to mess around. I've been busy lately, so I don't have time to care about her. I'm going to cultivate for a few days, then I'll make a trip to Star City. After Star City's matter is settled, I might have to make a trip to the bounded domain. Recently, there are so many things that are giving me a headache. I'm too lazy to care about her. Yunqi, help me keep an eye on her. Fan Ping really had a lot of ideas about the bounded domain. The most important thing was the mentality cultivation method, or the myriad Dao integration cultivation method. Old Manly had always been the first among rank 8. It was not that he wanted to be the first among rank 8, but he was still a rank 8. Although he had understood his own origin path, his golden body and vitality strength had not reached rank 9. Now, it was actually very difficult to cultivate. When he cultivated, his vitality would be drained away. This made Old Manly too afraid to cultivate. Moreover, the stronger he was, the faster his vitality would be drained away. If this went on, Fan Ping might not be able to hold on. Right now, he had a token, and Old Wang had another. If they entered the bounded domain, they might be able to get their hands on the cultivation method. Qin Yunxi nodded and said immediately, "You do what you need to do. I'll look after Yuan. Don't delay your own cultivation. If you can't handle the school's matters, just leave it to others, like Old Song and the rest. They're not too busy anyway." An iron head, he used to manage the martial arts society. Did he really think that he wouldn't have to work just because he hid at my place every day to cultivate? Fan Ping scolded. After leaving some instructions with Qin Yunxi, he dragged Qin Fengqing away. He still had to fulfill his promise. Besides, Qin Fengqing was especially annoying. He kept loitering in front of him every day. If he did not get rid of him, Fan Ping would have a headache. Watching the two of them leave, Qin Yunxi wanted to say something but stopped herself. There were already rumors flying around in the school. How inappropriate was it for Fan Ping to hang out with these men every day? Chapter 641. On the 3rd of September, Fan Ping began his closed-door cultivation. At the same time, this batch of new students began to suffer. Last year, Tang Wen's batch of new students was tormented. Cleaning, night raids on dormitories, guidance from older students. Although this batch of new students were all martial artists, there were even middle-ranked ones. However, the older students today did not lack middle-ranked martial artists. Therefore, in the middle of the night, there were many wails and howls. From time to time, new students were beaten up. To put it nicely, it was called training. Even Fang Yuan was not spared. Fan Ping was in closed-door cultivation. In the middle of the night, the grandmasters did not care about these things. In the chaos, they covered their faces and beat Fang Yuan up. Who would know it was them? Fan Ping had bullied many people, such as Zhao Lei, Yan Xiaoman, and Tang Wen. Taking care of a rank 1 martial artist was too easy. Fang Yuan was beaten up for a few nights in a row. She could not take it anymore. She gathered dozens of her sisters and ambushed them in the dormitory at night, causing another big fight. Of course, the result of the fight was that the dozens of Yuan Ping Club members went to class the next morning with bruises all over their faces. Dozens of rank 1 rookies, no matter how they ambushed them, would still be asking for a beating. This time, Fang Yuan made up her mind to cultivate hard and fight back. She had heard from others that her brother specialized in beating up older students, beating them all the way up. Regarding these, Fan Ping was cultivating, so naturally, he did not care. Even if he knew, it was possible to take revenge on those fellows. Fan Yuan was beaten up, but it was the girl who insisted on coming to MC Meiyu. It was not until the 10th of September that Fan Ping came out from underground. Finally, he had fulfilled his promise from before. After sealing Qin Fengqing's Sanjiao Gate, Fan Ping did not care about him anymore, sending him flying with a casual kick. At this time, Star City also replied, welcoming Fan Ping and the others to Star City at any time. 11th of September. McMao. At the school gate. Fan Ping, Li Han Song, Wang Jinyang, Yao Qingjun, and Qin Fengqing gathered. As soon as they met, Fan Ping smiled. "Old Wang, I heard from the minister that you often call to complain." Wang Jinyang shook his head and said quickly, "It was the minister himself who called me to ask for more resources. He said that MC Meiyu has a lot of resources, so the financial allocation can be waived, and the other schools can get some." Fan Ping's movements froze. Beside him, Yao Qingjun said mildly, "The minister has indeed spoken to all the martial arts universities. This year, they can get a little more, but we still have to consider MC Meiyu's favor. The minister has also cleared MC Meiyu's name." Zhang Tao was quite honest in handling matters. He had informed all the clans. This time, it was NCMAU's generosity. Every school received a lot more this year. It was not only NCMAU's resources, but also Zhang Tao's previous harvest. Martial arts universities received a lot of energy stones. Fan Ping harumphed. Damn you, old Zhang! You even lied to me that it was old Wang and the others who called and cried to ask for it, but it turned out that you were the one who gave it to them. Wang Jinyang didn't care what he thought and asked, "How do we get there?" "Let's drive. Qin Fengqing will drive. This guy follows us all day to get some benefits. Let him do some work." At the side, Qin Fengqing, who was already peak rank 6, pretended not to hear this, his face indifferent. "Nonsense, of course I'm going to follow him." These fellows would find opportunities wherever they went. This time, they had fallen behind mainly because they had not been able to keep up with the king battlefield. Even if they were beaten to death, he would not want to be separated again. As for driving, it was a small matter. Very soon, Qin Fengqing got a small car over. As they got into the car, Fan Ping said, "Did you guys notice? Star City invited us a few times. When I said I wanted to visit, they replied very quickly. It seemed like they were a little too polite to us. The minister said it's fine even if we go. The possibility of them scheming against us is not too high. If that's the case, will it benefit Star City if we go?" "There are no benefits, but they're giving us benefits. Do you guys believe that Star City is so generous?" Wang Jinyang pondered for a moment and said, "There must be a reason why Star City has been gathering resurrected martial artists all these years. No matter what, it's still necessary to go. In the outside world, we've almost never met other resurrected martial artists. Previously, SCMU seemed to have a martial artist with partial bone mutation. I heard that he's not at SCMU anymore. I don't know if he went to Star City." Fan Ping shook his head and said, "No, Old Chen said that the government specially recruited him. I think he went to the military department." "Is that so?" Wang Jinyang did not say anything else. Beside him, Yao Qingjun thought for a while and said, "No matter what their motives are, we'll talk about it when we get there. Minister Zhang probably won't harm us. Otherwise, the few of us wouldn't have been able to come out of the imperial battleground." Zhang Tao treated these genius students of martial arts universities quite well. He had appeared a few times for their sake. Fan Ping slandered, "Maybe old Zhang is up to no good. He's waiting for us to cultivate the origin path, then he'll kill us and comprehend our origin path." They could not help but look at him. "Were you not afraid that old Zhang would hear you?" Fan Ping said nonchalantly, "It's fine. He's in Capital City, thousands of miles away. He won't eavesdrop. Otherwise, if it spreads out thousands of miles, he'll actually consume a lot of energy. Even if we scold him to death now, he won't know." As soon as he said that, everyone laughed. Old Zheng's secret of eavesdropping was now public knowledge. As Qin Fengqing drove, he said, "Of the 13 clans in suppressing Star City, not all clans are connected to the revived warrior. Only a portion of the clans are involved in the matter of the revived warrior. The Jiang family doesn't seem to be involved. The damn fatty said that the Jiang family doesn't have resurrected martial artists. As for the other families, a few of them seem to have marriage alliances with resurrected martial artists." Fan Ping nodded slightly and said, "Star City has 13 families. Li Jian, Su Chen, Shen Wei Zheng, Jian Yan, and Lu. These are only 10 families. Did Jiang Chao mention the other 3? I don't think I've had any dealings with them." Among the 13 families, Fan Ping had dealings with people from the other 10 families. He had not come into contact with the remaining 3 families. Qin Fengqing shook his head. He had not asked about this either. They chatted along the way. Star City was near the Taihang Mountains. Even if Qin Fengqing drove the car as fast as he could, it would still take some time to cover a distance of more than 1,000 kilometers. The Taihang Mountains ran through 3 provinces and 1 city, starting from Capital City in the north, Mount Wanwu in the south, and Xishan Plateau in the west. This time, Fan Ping and the others were going to the Xishan area. Star City was located not too far away from the ancient city of Chengdu, which was known as the most well-preserved in Sino nation. Of course, it was not too far away. It was still close to 100 miles away. When the sky darkened, the car arrived at a small town. It was a small town with almost no outsiders. Few people came here, and it was not a scenic spot. Although it was close to the Taihang Mountains, there was no natural scenery nearby that would make one's eyes shine. It was just an ordinary, small, and peaceful town. Outside the town, there were rice paddies with people working. The road was not easy to walk on, and driving was not easy either. This was probably the reason why few outsiders came here. Before Fan Ping and the others' car entered the small town, a silhouette appeared in front of the car in the blink of an eye, barking coldly. This place doesn't welcome outsiders, and it's not a scenic spot. If it were a normal person, they would probably know that this person was a martial artist when they saw him suddenly appear and would probably turn around and leave. However, the people in the car were not normal people. The other party could not even sense Fan Ping and the others' auras. Wang Jinyang opened the car window and stuck his head out, smiling. "We're here because we were invited. Uncle, do you know how to get to Star City?" As soon as he said that, the expression of the middle-aged man blocking the way changed slightly. He glanced at the car again. 5 young people. Real young people. He did not see any weapons. Of course, he did not see Qin Fengqing's Chan now at the side. Among the 5 of them, Qin Fengqing was the only one with a visible weapon. Just as the middle-aged man was still analyzing the situation, someone laughed loudly from afar. "Fan Ping, Baldy, you've arrived." The next moment, a plump figure appeared, sprinting toward them. Seeing the plump man sprinting toward them, the middle-aged martial artist's expression changed again. He said hurriedly, "Young Master Jiang, Uncle Hu." Jiang Chao's expression was gloomy. He said sheepishly, "I've already said that it's a new era. There's no such thing as a young master. Just call me by my name. Isn't this embarrassing?" Having said that, Jiang Chao was already in front of the car. He chuckled. "I received your call, so I came here. I thought you guys flew over. I didn't expect you to drive." Having said that, Fan Ping and the others got out of the car. Jiang Chao smiled and introduced. "This is Uncle Hu, also from Starfate Town, guards." The middle-aged man called Uncle Hu added. He glanced at Fan Ping and the others and said in a muffled voice, "Starfate Town doesn't receive guests. I didn't know that you were young Master Jiang's guests." Fan Ping looked confused. "Am I in the catacombs now?" Jiang Chao was also helpless. He smiled bitterly. "I'm sorry for the embarrassment. Starfate Town was built almost at the same time as Star City. All these years, we've rarely interacted with the outside world. Although we can communicate here. Uncle Hu is more traditional." As he said that, he smiled at the middle-aged man. "Uncle Hu, go do what you need to do. I'll take care of them. I'll take my leave then." The man cupped his hands and looked at Fan Ping and the others again. His eyes were filled with suspicion. He still could not sense the martial artist's aura. Qin Fengqing, however, could vaguely sense it. The man was not weak. He was a rank 4 martial artist, but he was just a guard in a small town outside Star City. Star City still had a strong foundation. Jiang Chao waited for him to leave before saying with a smile, "My pervert and the second son of the Su family are waiting in town. Let's go there first. We'll go to Star City tomorrow." Qin Fengqing could not help but ask, "Can we go at night?" "It's not that we can't. It's just not official enough." Jiang Chao explained. "You're a little late. Star City can't receive guests in the middle of the night, right? We'll go to Star City tomorrow. It'll be more convenient to communicate during the day." Fan Ping had no objections. He got out of the car and looked around as he walked. After a while, he asked, "Are the people here all from Star City?" "Sort of," Jiang Chao said softly. "Actually, the founders of this town were the old ancestors' servants. You know that in that era, it was normal for powerhouses to have servants. The old ancestors built Star City, and their servants build Starfate Town outside. Of course, that was in the past. Who knows how many generations have passed since then? Li Han-song was curious too. He asked, "Are there still servants in Star City now?" "That?" Jiang Chao laughed dryly. "There are. After all, we don't know how to work our limbs, and we can't distinguish between the 5 grains. When we're weak, we still have to eat, drink, poop, and sleep. Even my grandpa and the rest can't do that, right?" Fang Ping laughed. "What's there to be embarrassed about? Actually, I've already guessed it. It's normal." Jiang Chao laughed. "I was afraid that you'd laugh at me. There are more than 5,000 people in Star City. Each family has 400 to 500 people. How can they all be the true descendants of the top powerhouses? About half of them are the servants you mentioned. These people are actually passed down from the older generation after generation." Yao Qingjun and the rest did not say anything. Star City was isolated from the world. There was no need to talk about human rights here. Moreover, the servants in Star City might not be worse off than the people in the outside world. They might even be better. After all, it was a place with more than 10 top powerhouses. Even in modern times, although some powerhouses did not have servants, it was almost the same. Soon, they reached the outskirts of the town. Fang Ping took a look. The town had a city wall. It was the kind of ancient city wall that seemed to be abandoned. However, Fang Ping could still sense the aura of a few martial artists. 2 rank 3s and 1 rank 4s. This kind of strength was not weak. These people must have been notified by Uncle Hu earlier. They did not show up and continued to hide on the abandoned city wall. In Fang Ping's opinion, this was completely unnecessary. Star City. Those who knew about Star City's situation would not barge into this place. Those who did not know would probably not come here either. Of course, he could not be bothered with these things. The city gate of the abandoned city wall had been demolished. Now, a large archway had been built. The archway was carved with a few big words, Starfate Town. A few people stood under the archway. Jiang Hao was among them. Star City did not fail to receive Fang Ping and the rest. Other than Jiang Hao, there was also a young martial artist who was also a grandmaster-level powerhouse. At this moment, he was also observing Fang Ping and the rest. 2 grandmasters came to receive them. The treatment was considered high standard. "Fang Ping, you're quite late!" Jiang Hao laughed heartily and took the initiative to walk toward Fang Ping. It seemed like he wanted to give Fang Ping a hug. This action slightly surprised the young martial artist beside him. Why was Psycho Jiang so polite? Everyone in Star City knew that Jiang Hao was extremely arrogant. He almost did not take any martial artists of the same generation seriously. Even in Star City, including the catacombs, this guy was extremely arrogant. Now, however, he actually took the initiative to greet Fang Ping. The young man knew Fang Ping. Although they had not interacted before, there were few in Star City who did not know Fang Ping. This guy was also an arrogant person. He had killed Yang Feng of the Yang family. The Yang family's Yang He, the rank 8 powerhouse, had also been killed by MC Mayu's Li Changxing on the spot. This news had spread throughout Star City. However, the young man was still surprised by Jiang Hao's attitude. For a moment, he was a little dazed. It did not matter if he was dazed. In front of him, Fang Ping did not give Jiang Hao a chance to hug him. Instead, he reached out and shook hands with him, chuckling. "Congratulations, brother Jiang!" Jiang Hao had actually broken through to upper stage rank 7. This was still a little surprising. He had actually broken through rank 7 only a few years ago. He had only entered the King's Battleground 3 years ago during the youth competition, advancing a level every year. It had to be said that this person from the Jiang family was quite formidable. Jiang Hao said with some emotion, "I can't compare to you. You were only rank 6 when I saw you last time. Now you're already middle stage rank 7. Besides, I still remember that slash from last time. Last time in the King's Battleground, Fang Ping had killed an upper stage rank 7 with one slash and severely injured another. Now, he heard that he had killed a rank 8 with one slash. Jiang Hao believed that he was extremely talented and had many tricks up his sleeves. However, facing the current Fang Ping, he did not judge who would win or lose. He did not want to judge either. The outcome would probably not be too good. The more arrogant a genius was, the more they would only look at geniuses who were stronger than them. However, Fang Ping and the others were resurrected martial artists. This was also a reason for him to comfort himself. Although not all resurrected martial artists were so strong, he had defeated many resurrected martial artists. He would just take it that Fang Ping and the others were special. They were the top powerhouses among the resurrected martial artists. After the two of them had finished greeting each other, the young man behind them walked over. He nodded lightly and said, "I'm Su Ziyu, Su Zis's second brother. Fang Ping. Wang Jinyang." They introduced themselves. Su Zisi had two brothers. Fang Ping knew that Su Zisi had mentioned it once. However, her second brother's name sounded like a woman's, so Fang Ping still did not know. For a moment, he actually thought of the IU that old man Li mentioned. Fang Ping shuddered slightly. He could not think about it. The moment he thought about it, he felt that old man Li's IU was like this. After getting to know each other, Su Ziyu smiled politely and said, "Su Zisi has been mentioning you all to us." Her words were full of admiration. "Now that I've met you all today, you are indeed dragons and phoenixes among men," Jiang Hao said impatiently. "Don't be like that. I hate people like you the most. Why do you talk so much nonsense?" Having said that, Jiang Hao smiled and said, "Just one sentence. We'll rest here tonight and enter the city tomorrow. This time, Mount Royal Sea might have a progenitor returning. I don't know who it is. If the progenitor returns, I'll have the chance to meet him." Fang Ping responded. Beside him, Qin Fengqing asked curiously, "Will it be good for cultivation when we reach Star Town?" Jiang Hao did not reply, nor did he pay attention to him. This time, the atmosphere was awkward. Beside him, Jiang Chao quickly smiled and said, "Baldy, what's the hurry? Won't you know when we get there?" Qin Fengqing was not angry. He squinted at Jiang Hao. How arrogant. This guy only seemed to be polite to Fang Ping. He did not even pay attention to old Wang and the others. As for himself, a rank 6, naturally, he would not pay attention to him. "I'll hammer you to death sooner or later." Qin Fengqing did not say much. Life was full of ups and downs. He just had to keep these words in his heart. Back then, there were many people who bullied me. Now I beat them up until they cried for their parents. Currently, only Fang Ping, old Wang, Tang Feng, and old man Li had not taken revenge. Thinking of this, Qin Fengqing suddenly felt a little absent-minded. The people who bullied me seemed to be these few guys. Have I not been able to take revenge? He had been beaten up by old Wang when he was rank 1. After he reached rank 4, he had been living under Fang Ping's oppression. Mother Faster's cur, I think I only beat up Shan Yu. Qin Fengqing's heart was inexplicably sorrowful. He glanced at Jiang Hao. I don't believe that these monsters can't beat you up for now. Just wait and see. While Qin Fengqing was determined to surpass Jiang Hao did not even look at him. As he walked into the town, he laughed and said, "There are many people in the city who are curious about you. When you enter the city tomorrow, don't hold back. Beat up whoever you don't like. Of course, you can forget about killing people. Otherwise, you won't be able to leave Star Town. I have a few enemies in the city too. I'll show them to you tomorrow. It's not easy to deal with them normally. Tomorrow, find a chance to teach them a lesson." "Oh right, I heard that you killed a rank 8. How did it feel?" "Nothing much." Fang Ping laughed. "Just SOSO. Rank 8. I probably can't do a rank 8 now. But there's no rush. It'll happen sooner or later." Jiang Hao spoke as if there was no one else around. He brought everyone to the front of an antique courtyard and explained, "This is where we usually have fun. It's the clubhouse outside. Surfing the internet, exercising, cultivating, singing, all of them are allowed. If you want to find a woman, that's fine too. There are women here who do this. Just give them some cultivation pills. If you're interested, I can find one for you." Fang Ping laughed. "No need. You can keep it for yourself." "Forget it then. I'm not really into this either. Fatty, on the other hand, does this a lot. I didn't." Jiang Chao was furious. His face was full of anger. He argued, "I was just talking about ideals with them. This kind of thing is wrong. Women should have more self-respect. They're outsiders of Star Town, after all. How could they do this kind of thing? Pervert, don't accuse me wrongly." "Ha ha!" Jiang Hao's face was full of disdain. "Do you think I'll believe you or not?" Beside him, Su Ziyu felt like her head was about to explode. "Both of you say everything out there. Does Star Town have no dignity?" He really did not want to come and pick someone up with these two brothers. However, in the city, the only ones who were on good terms with Fang Ping were the Jiang family and the Su family. On the Jiang family's side, the two brothers had dealt with Fang Ping before. Su Haoran had also met Fang Ping many times. As for the others, Star Town was worried that they would fight if they did not get along. Fang Ping and the others were not easy to deal with. Most of the rank 7 powerhouses from the other clans in the city had not seen Fang Ping and the others. No matter how famous they were, it was just fame. Fang Ping had killed someone from the Yang family. Star Town and the Yang family had lived together for many years. Their relationship was not something Fang Ping could compare to. If there was any commotion, Su Haoran was not worried about Fang Ping and the others. He was really worried that these few brats would be ruthless. Even if they did not kill someone, it was still possible that they would cripple someone. As for the deterrence of the absolute peak, King Wu was not someone to be trifled with. Star Town had taken the initiative to invite them over. King Wu had also informed them. If there was a conflict now, it might get out of hand. Jiang Hao did not care what Su Ziyu was thinking. He had always been used to doing things his own way. When he saw someone he liked, he would talk more. When he saw someone he did not like, he would not even bother with them. As he led them into the courtyard, he continued, "Right, I forgot to tell you. That Ji Yao and Feng Miexing have both entered rank 7. Both of them are now in the rank 7 territory. These days, they've been provoking you guys to go in. That woman is very slippery. I tried to kill her a few times, but I didn't get the chance. That Feng Miexing guy is also very difficult to deal with now. That brat has taken over Feng Qing's forces and has been moving around with 7 or 8 rank 7 martial artists." Fang Ping grinned. "They're just clowns. Brother Jiang, bring a message to me. No matter how many rank 7 martial artists they send, if they have the guts, they can fight to the death at Mount Royal Sea. I'll kill as many as they come. Don't turn around and ask for help from their ancestors. It just so happens that I'm tight on money recently. If I kill a bunch of rank 7 martial artists, I can also make some money. I promise to bring it. But those guys probably won't dare to. They are indeed clowns. Ignore them. When I get the chance, I'll kill a few of them and let them continue to clamor." The two of them talked as if there was no one else around. Beside them, Su Ziyu finally understood why Jiang Hao and Fang Ping would talk. These two guys, one was more arrogant than the other. Initially, she thought that Jiang Hao was arrogant enough. Now, it seemed that she was ignorant. They walked in front. Behind them, Qin Fengqin grabbed Jiang Chao and said with an unfriendly expression, "Let's spar for a while later." Jiang Chao looked innocent. "Mother Kerr, did I offend you? Do you want to beat me up again?" Qin Fengqin let out a humph. "I can't beat the old, but I can beat the young. Since your brother doesn't give me face, then I'll beat you up first. Genius in a second, remember this site's address. Mobile version. Chapter 642. After entering a reception hall, Jiang Hao invited them to take a seat. Fan Ping sat down on the sofa and touched the leather sofa. He was slightly moved. These fellows were truly extravagant. 7th grade demonic beast skin. Qin Fengqin, who came in later, didn't look at the sofa made of demonic beast skin. His nose twitched as he looked at Jiang Chao and asked, "There's a mine buried underneath?" Jiang Chao glanced at him strangely. "Damn, why are you moving your nose when you're sensing energy?" Even though he was cursing in his heart, he still replied, "Not much. It's just some middle and low-grade ores that aren't suitable for cultivation. That's why I brought them here to dissipate some of their energy. Grade 9 energy ores could be directly absorbed for cultivation, but middle and low-grade energy ores could not. These energy stones could only be converted and released through certain means." Qin Fengqin nodded slightly and did not say much. It was not like he was someone who had not seen the world. MC Mayu still had a big mind. However, when he saw the energy fruits used to entertain the guests, Qin Fengqin couldn't help but casually toss a few into his mouth. Everyone ignored him. As soon as they sat down, Su Ziyu took the initiative to speak, not letting Jiang Hao continue. She said, "I haven't had the time to congratulate Mr. Fang before. Magic City Martial Arts University's great victory over Skygate City this time is worthy of celebration. There's a lot of luck involved," Fang Ping said modestly. He smiled and said, "MC Mayu has only been established for a short time after all. Our strength is still limited, and our powerhouses are also limited." As he said that, Fang Ping smiled. "I heard that there are less than 5,000 people in Star City, and more than half of them are middle-ranked. This is what true strength looks like." Su Ziyu burst into laughter. "Mr. Fang, who did you hear this from? There are less than 1,000 middle-ranked martial artists in suppressing Star City. How could it be more than half?" Fang Ping laughed. "Is that so? Maybe I misheard. There were only 5,000 people, 50 to 60 high grandmasters and grandmasters, and close to 1,000 middle ranks. This kind of strength was already shocking. A peerless expert was indeed incredible. If I may be so bold as to ask, are all the people in suppressing Star City martial artists? That's not true. There are still thousands of people who are not martial artists." Su Ziyu explained, "Mr. Fang, you also know that some people are not suited to practicing martial arts. Their qi and blood are stagnant at the extreme stage, and they are unable to go deeper into bone honing." "I see." Fan Ping agreed verbally, but his mind was already plotting. Star Suppressing City was indeed a terrifying place. 50 to 60 high ranks, close to 1,000 middle ranks, and close to 3,000 lower ranks. This kind of strength, other than high ranks, was actually inferior to MC Mayu. But it depended on the base number. Just over 5,000 people. The people from MC Mayu stood out from more than 1 billion people. There was no comparison between the two. Fang Ping pondered for a moment before asking, "It's said that the descendants of powerhouses have stronger bloodlines and stronger martial arts talents. Big Brother Su, I am indeed quite curious about this. You also know that the descendants of experts from the outside world are not very old. Even Commander Li and Minister Zhang were less than 100 years old, and their descendants were even younger. Are there any second-generation descendants of the peerless patriarchs still alive in Star Town?" Experts needed time to accumulate strength. Zhang Tao and Li Jun were both less than 100 years old. They were the second generation, the elder in his 60s or 70s, the younger in his 40s or 50s. Such an age was not considered old for a martial artist. Therefore, the descendants of these two were very strong. One of Li Jun's sons, who was also Li Yiming's father, had already reached rank 8. However, it was not to the extent that the 8th rank represented the strength of the bloodline. However, Star Town still had some value as a reference. Su Ziyu pondered for a moment. After a while, she said, "The second-generation patriarchs actually suppressed Mount Imperial Sea with the patriarchs. Most of them died in battle there. As for whether there are any patriarchs still alive, this, Mr. Fang, you know?" After all, we are too far away from that era. Beside her, Jiang Hao said lightly. Actually, there is nothing to hide. There should be, but we are not sure how many there are. 13 families. Since they can be passed down, the number of second-generation patriarchs will not be too few. It is a fact that many died in battle. However, I heard that there are still second-generation patriarchs alive. Some are inside Mount Imperial Sea, some may be in the boundary lands. Su Ziyu glanced at Jiang Hao and frowned slightly. Jiang Hao did not think much of it. He looked at Fang Ping and said, "There are a total of 25 boundary lands in Sino Nation. Currently, there is still one that has not been opened. As for the boundary lands, Sino Nation can reach 26 boundary lands. Actually, a few of these 26 boundary lands have already been explored. Some have been completely abandoned, leaving only those fatal crises that do not bring any benefits. Some have even been eroded by the Forbidden Sea and become a tributary of the Forbidden Sea." Fang Ping's gaze flickered. He said immediately, "Erosion by the Forbidden Sea? You mean some boundary lands actually no longer exist?" "Yes," Jiang Hao replied. "You have seen a tributary of the Forbidden Sea outside the boundary lands, right?" "That's right. That's right. Such tributaries exist in all boundary lands." The Forbidden Sea has been eroding the boundary lands for many years. Those tributaries are actually eroding the seal of the Forbidden Sea. Once the seal is broken, the boundary lands will be breached and completely become a part of the Forbidden Sea. Beside him, Li Hansong said hurriedly, "The Forbidden Sea will take the initiative to erode the boundary lands? Is that part of the sea controlled by someone?" What he was more worried about was whether such erosion would erode his old nest. Until now, he had not determined where his old nest was. Whether it is controlled by someone or not, this is not clear, and the possibility is not high. You also know that the Forbidden Sea is very complicated, including its seawater composition. That thing not only erodes mentality, but it can also block mentality's detection. So what exactly is the situation below the Forbidden Sea? Even absolute peak is not clear. The only thing we know is that the seawater of the Forbidden Sea will actually take the initiative to erode the areas with abundant energy. The boundary lands, under normal circumstances, are the areas with the most abundant energy. The energy there is so dense that it has turned into liquid. Freely eroding the boundary lands is also a special characteristic of the Forbidden Sea. The existence of the Imperial Sea Mountains is to resist the erosion of the Forbidden Sea," Jiang Hao said, and then added, "Did you not discover that at the edge of the Forbidden Sea, the energy is weaker than in the depths? Actually, the energy distribution in the catacombs is balanced. The reason why it is weak is also due to the existence of the Forbidden Sea. Seawater can absorb energy, so the closer to the Forbidden Sea, the weaker the energy. And in order to prevent the Forbidden Sea from invading, there will not be a royal city at the edge of the Forbidden Sea. This is to prevent the Forbidden Sea from becoming restless and invading the huge mine." After Jiang Hao finished, he said with a smile, "The matter of the Forbidden Sea is very complicated. I can't explain it clearly in a short time, and I also don't understand it very well. Let's go back to the boundary lands. A portion of the boundary lands has already been eroded. Another portion, because of the destruction of the seal, monsters roam freely, and the buildings inside have also been destroyed. Right now, it has become the Forbidden Sea Demon Clan's forbidden land. The other portion, on the other hand, has already been opened." Fang Ping frowned slightly. "The opening that you mentioned, is it opened by us humans, or by the catacombs martial artists?" "Both," Jiang Hao explained. "And it's not our generation. Let me put it this way, since hundreds or even thousands of years ago, there have been people who have tried the boundary lands one after another. After generations, there will always be some places that have been opened. Everything inside has mostly been plundered clean. From what I know, a portion of people have obtained incomparably huge benefits inside and stepped into the impasse realm. Not just one person, including Commander Li and some people from the catacombs. However, that was in the past. In recent years, some boundary lands that are easy to open and do not have strong destructive power have already been opened. Now, what's left are boundary lands with incomparably huge destructive power. And the stronger the seals set up in the periphery, the stronger the strength of the boundary lands in the past. The stronger the master, the stronger the influence. Therefore, the really good things, the places with great benefits, are actually still the boundary lands that are left behind now. The Catacombs invasion, including the patriarchs guarding Mount Royal Sea, actually has something to do with the boundary lands, Jiang Hao. Suzi's face was livid. Jiang Hao sneered and said lightly, "What, did I say something wrong? What's there to hide? Can you enter the boundary lands?" After saying that, Jiang Hao continued, "The patriarchs guarding Mount Royal Sea, on one hand, is also to resist those peak-level experts, not letting them send a large number of people to explore the boundary lands, lest the human ancestors' relics fall into the hands of others. Of course, the patriarchs themselves will not easily explore the boundary lands. Actually, both sides have restrictions, and both are very vigilant. However, it is very likely that a portion of the second-generation patriarchs are still on the other side of the boundary lands. Some may have opened the boundary lands and are cultivating in seclusion inside. Some may be waiting for an opportunity to enter the boundary lands. Therefore, the possibility of all of them dying is not high. The patriarchs still have some backup plans." Fan Ping could not help but glance at him. Jiang Hao was not an idiot, nor was he Jiang Chao, the traitor of Star City. What did he mean by telling him all these things out of the blue? Jiang Hao must have seen the change in Fan Ping's gaze. He smiled faintly and said, "There's no other meaning in telling you all this. I just want to remind you not to trespass the boundary lands. It's very easy to get into trouble. Do you also want to ask if the Yang family has a second-generation patriarch alive?" Fan Ping's pupils contracted slightly. Jiang Hao laughed. "You don't have to worry about this. All these years, the Yang family has been guarding the 11 southern territories, which is the Tianan Catacombs. There are 2 boundary lands in the Tianan Catacombs. The one you went to is also the one the Yang family has their eyes on. The other side has actually already become a forbidden area for demons. You did not encounter any Yang family members there previously, which means that even if the Yang family has a second-generation patriarch alive, he has already died." Fan Ping said softly, "What about the 3rd and 4th generations? What generation is High Grand Master Yang Daohong?" Jiang Hao laughed. "After all, Star Town has only been established for 300 years. When they migrated back then, there were very few people, only about 10 people per family. Martial artists, especially powerhouses, have a longer lifespan than ordinary people. On average, one generation takes about 40 years. Until now, there have been at most 10 generations in each family, and at least 5 or 6 generations. From the Yang family to Grand Master Yang Daohong, it should be the 6th generation. When it comes to Yang Qing and the rest, it should be the 8th generation. In the previous few generations, the Yang family was not very prosperous. Some died in battle one after another. Also, during the Rank 9 territory riot in the Qing battlefield, a Yang family Rank 9 also died there. Therefore, the Yang family should really not have any high ranks now." Beside him, Su Ziyu could not help but glare at him. She looked at Fan Ping and said, "Mr. Fan, we also know about the grudge between you and the Yang family. However, the matter has already ended during the youth tournament, and the Yang family has no intention of fighting again. After all, the 13 patriarchs built Star Town together. After the Yang family's patriarch died, it was already desolate. Now it's even more bleak. After Mr. Fang enters the city, please be understanding and try not to have any conflicts." Fan Ping did not speak, but Li Han Song smiled sheepishly. "Then, if the Yang family takes the initiative to find trouble with us, probably not." "Are you sure, Mr. Su?" Su Ziyu frowned slightly. Li Han Song chuckled and said, "Actually, we are not people who cause trouble. We all know how much Star Town has sacrificed for Sino Nation. Top powerhouses stationed alone in Mount Royal Sea, sitting there for 100 years. They can't return to their homes, and they can't return to their country. Separated by a world, they are unknown, guarding the human territory and protecting human civilization. Don't we have a heart of gratitude? Yes. However, all of these are not reasons for us to be in danger and surrender without a fight. This time, we are here by invitation. We do not have any intention of causing trouble, and we will not do so. However, we are also high-ranked martial artists, and we have also fought bloody battles before. We will not tolerate being humiliated by others. If the Yang family wants to humiliate us, if they want to take revenge on us, they can do it openly. If they really want to do something in the dark, we will not be polite. Fang Ping said lightly. Han Song is right. If the Yang family wants to seek revenge on me, they can do it openly and talk openly. This is the rule of the entire martial arts world. Looking for external help, looking for powerhouses to back you up, these are all fine. If you can take it, then take it. If you can't, then admit defeat. However, other things can be avoided. Please forgive me, Big Brother Su. Su Ziyu's head was as big as a cow's. How did they end up talking about this? Beside him, Jiang Hao sneered and said lazily, "All right, the possibility of these things happening is not high. The Yang family is in a slump now. If they are not stupid, they will not do these things. It's only because you mentioned it that I said this in passing. As for the rest, let's not talk about it now. Also, Star Town invited you. I'm not sure about the specifics, but it should be a mutual benefit. There are benefits for both sides. Those martial artists who were resurrected earlier all benefited from Star Town, and nothing happened to them. Therefore, this should not be a problem. As for what benefits there are in Star Town, I'm not sure either. My family did not really participate in it. My family's ancestor is an idle person, and he does not care much about these things. As for the specifics, let's wait until tomorrow to talk about it. Our mission today is to eat and drink to our heart's content. In order to entertain you, a few families in the city have sacrificed a lot. Come, let's relax." Although Fang Ping still wanted to find out the specifics, Jiang Hao said he was not sure, so the possibility of him lying to them was not high. If that was the case, Fang Ping did not stand on ceremony. He smiled and said, "Then we will do as you say. We also want to see the grand occasion of Sino Nation's #1 Holy Land. We won't let you down." Soon, Fang Ping and the others knew what it meant to not let them down. In the banquet hall, there was only a table of dishes and a few jars of wine. Jiang Chao, however, swallowed and hurriedly introduced the tongue of a rank 7 dragon sparrow beast. Everyone looked at the dish. The tongue of a rank 7 monster. This was indeed good stuff. Some monsters only had a portion of their essence. These essence parts were the most abundant, the purest, and the easiest to digest. They also tasted great. The paw of a rank 7 white bear beast. The belly meat of a rank 7 ground shell beast. Jiang Chao introduced 8 dishes in a row. Finally, he looked at the plate in the middle and smiled. "This is amazing. Do you know what the most delicious food in the catacombs is?" "Mine rats." Fang Ping replied casually. This was what Qin Fengqin had told him when he first entered the catacombs. It was also because of this fellow that everyone knew that he had news of a mineral vein. Jiang Chao chuckled. "That's right. However, under normal circumstances, mine rats are not ranked. Even if they are at most rank 1 or 2. This time, however, this mine rat is a rank 4 monster. A mine rat that has entered the middle rank is really good stuff. It's rare even at the peak. This kind of mine rat not only devours energy in the mine, but it also devours a lot of life essence. That's why it has entered the middle rank. This is also the main dish this time. It's even rarer than rank 7 monster meat." Fang Ping was surprised. He had seen mine rats before, but most of them were the normal kind. They were not monsters. He did not expect to see a rank 4 one. This thing was much rarer than regular rank 7 monster meat. It was understandable that it was the main dish. Soon, Jiang Chao introduced a few jars of wine on the side. 100-year-old wine. It was a real 100-year-old wine, and it was not an ordinary wine. Many energy fruits and even some life essence were used in it. This was made by the ancestors back then. It's rare for us to drink a cup. This time, in order to entertain you, Suppressing Star City brought out 3 jars. The cellar is almost empty. Jiang Chao was full of smiles. He felt honored. After saying that, he raised his eyebrows at Qin Fengqin. Baldy, eat and drink as much as you want. Since you're in my territory, you must have some dignity. At Fan Ping and the rest level, it was extremely rare for them to eat. This time, however, they did not stand on ceremony. MC Mayu might be rich now, but it was difficult to gather all these things. Without enough resources, MC Mayu could not produce the 100-year-old wine alone. They had never seen a middle-ranked mine rat before. Fan Ping and the others did not stand on ceremony either. They ate to their heart's content. Qin Fengqin could not wait to put the plates in front of him. If this table of dishes and wine were sold for 3 to 5 billion in the outside world, there might be powerhouses who would be willing to pay. This was what it meant to be a martial artist. A meal was truly an astronomical figure. However, Suppressing Star City would not easily host a meal like this. Just the essence parts of 8 rank 7 beasts meant that they had killed 8 rank 7 beasts. This was something that was hard to come by. Fan Ping ate, drank some wine. He was a little tipsy. As he drank, his mind became more and more sober. Suppressing Star City was too polite. They thought too highly of them. This kind of banquet was an introductory banquet. Even a rank 9 would find it extravagant, but they used it to entertain them. They're unaccountably solicitous. They're giving us benefits and treating us with such a high standard. What do we have to offer? It was not just Fan Ping. Everyone else, including Qin Fengqin, who ate until his mouth was full of energy, was exceptionally clear-headed at this moment. What was Suppressing Star City trying to do? As Qin Fengqin thought about it, an idea suddenly popped into his mind. Don't tell me they want us to marry into their family? I won't do that. That's not right either. If a family really promised to provide me with the resources to cultivate to rank 9, it's hard to say. I'll wait and see. Qin Fengqin calculated these things in his mind. Without delaying his eating and drinking, he ate 30% of the dishes on the table. Jiang Chao took 20%, and the rest were for the rest. Su Ziyu and Jiang Hao immediately looked down at Qin Fengqin. This could be felt from the conversation between the two of them. Qin Fengqin did not mind. Jiang Chao, on the other hand, did not look down on him. He already knew Qin Fengqin's character. This guy did not care about his pride. Benefits were his priority. Fan Ping, on the other hand, used the banquet to find out more about the situation. Currently, Suppressing Star City had a total of 8 rank 9 powerhouses. There were only 8 out of 13 families in Suppressing Star City. It was not considered a lot. If Yang Daohong was included, it would be 9. Of these 8, the rank 9s of the Qin and Shin families were currently in the House of Guardians. They were not in Suppressing Star City. As for the other 6, Fan Ping knew that there was 1 each from the Jiang, Su, Li, and Wei families. As for the other 2, there was no need to ask in detail. These things were also told by Jiang Hao and Jiang Chao. Suzy wanted to say something a few times but stopped herself. She had no choice but to meet these 2. In reality, this information was not too big of a secret. If Fan Ping really wanted to know, he could ask old Zhang. In fact, he could find out. They ate and drank until late at night. The banquet only ended. Fan Ping and the others returned to their respective rooms. Qin Fengqin and Jiang Chao went to spar under the influence of alcohol. No one cared about this. As for the rumbling battle in the middle of the night, no one cared about it. Qin Fengqin had entered peak rank 6. So had Jiang Chao. Before entering the king's battleground, Fatty Jiang was already upper stage rank 6. After so many days, he had also reached peak rank 6. Both of them were of the same rank. Qin Fengqin might not be stronger than Jiang Chao. Qin Fengqing's time in rank 6 was too short. His Sanjiao gate closed too quickly. He might not have adapted to the new strength. While the two fought, Fan Ping and the others did not rest. Fan Ping had been condensing and forging his golden body for the past few days. This included condensing and filling the materialized objects. Entering Star Town, he had to be prepared for the worst. He had never trusted these outsiders completely. Until now, there were not many people who were truly worthy of his trust. Old Manli was one, Old Wang was another, Li Han Song was another, even Yao Qingjun. Fan Ping dared not trust him completely. As for Qin Fengqing, he could trust him. Fan Ping felt that if they really fought with Star Town, this guy would definitely not be scared to death. But this bastard, if he did not give him any benefits, he might not fight to the death. He had to at least agree to some of this guy's conditions. However, thinking about it, he was only rank 6. Fan Ping could not be bothered to consider him. If this guy could escape, then he would not be a burden. Fan Ping and the others did not waste any time. They were all cultivating. Next door, Jiang Hao and Su Ziyu did not waste time either. These people seemed to be unrestrained. If they were really useless, they would not have cultivated to rank 7. All high ranks, without exception, had extremely strict requirements for themselves. Chapter 643. The night passed uneventfully. The next day, 12th of September, people came to Fan Ping's room early in the morning. A few young women dressed in delicate attire offered to help Fan Ping wash up. Fan Ping rejected them without hesitation. With a shake of his golden body, all the filth was gone. How long has it been since I last bathed? Fan Ping could not help but wonder as he walked out of the room. The last time he mocked Lu Pula for not bathing for 10 years. It had been a month or two, right? Inhuman! Fan Ping sighed in his heart. When a martial artist reached a high rank, they could really be considered inhuman. Bathing and what not. How much of a waste of time. With a shake of his body, all the filth was gone. Old Wang and the rest had rejected the women's service, but the people from Startown were used to it, and did not reject them. Fan Ping did not care about them. Everyone had their own habits. Jiang Hao and Su Ziyu actually needed to wash up. Aristocrats like them were really nosy. Country bumpkins like us haven't brushed our teeth or washed our faces for a long time. After a while, everyone gathered in the guest hall yesterday. Jiang Chao, a peak rank 6 martial artist, had dark circles under his eyes. They were still swollen, and he did not know how Qin Fengqing got them. As for Qin Fengqing, he did not have dark circles, but Fan Ping glanced at him. The guy had been covering his crotch, and he did not know what he was doing. The others could not be bothered with them. Su Ziyu said, "Mr. Fan, shall we make a move now?" "Sure. Thank you." As Fan Ping spoke, he asked curiously, "Is Polaris City nearby? Last night, I used my mentality to scan the area. I didn't feel any seal within a few thousand meters." Fan Ping did not mind saying it. In fact, they had all scanned the area last night. It would be strange if they were not curious about Startown. Su Ziyu's eyes shone with pride. She smiled. "It's nearby. You'll know when you get there." With that, the few of them walked out together. At the door, a few martial artists watched them leave respectfully. Startown was behind Starfate Town. Behind Starfate Town was a forest, or at least it looked like a forest. Normal high-ranked martial artists would not pay much attention even if they used flight step to pass. Beyond the forest was a section of the Taihang Mountains, which was not far from the mountains. But when they got close to the forest, they found something strange. Wang Jinyang, who had always been calm, suddenly stopped in his tracks. There was a strange look in his eyes. After a while he said, "It's fake." Yao Qingjun had long since discovered it. He said in a low voice, "An illusion. No, it's a kind of interference with mental strength. Ordinary people can't reach this place at all." Fan Ping, on the other hand, observed for a while. After a while, he said slowly, How generous! My mentality couldn't detect the end. It's bigger than MC Mayu. How big was MC Mayu? 30,000 mu, 20 square kilometers. Just like that, MC Mayu, which had more than 10,000 people, did not seem crowded at all. Instead, it was exceptionally spacious. Fan Ping's mentality did not cover a large area, but the probing range was not small. Surprisingly, he did not manage to probe to the bottom. Beside him, Jiang Chao chuckled and said, Startown isn't small at all. In fact, it wasn't that big in the beginning. Later on, the patriarchs slowly expanded it to include some of the smaller mountain ranges in Taihang Mountains. As such, the environment of Suppressing Star City was quite good. It wasn't as monotonous as it was at the beginning, and now, there were mountains and rivers. As for the surface area, it should be about 20,000 meters long and wide. Fan Ping and the others' pupils contracted. It did not sound very big, but in reality, 20,000 meters long and wide was 400 square kilometers. Although some big cities could easily cover thousands of square kilometers, that included the suburbs and districts. The area that truly belonged to the urban area, even for a metropolis like Magic City, if calculated from the area within the Outer Ring Road, was only about 600 square kilometers. When Fan Ping heard this, he opened his mouth and said, Everyone, can I take the flight step and have a look? Su Ziyu smiled and said, Yes, Mr. Fan. Do as you please. Fan Ping did not say much. Very quickly, he rose into the air and circled around. After a while, Fan Ping landed on the ground, his face full of admiration. I've finally experienced the might of the Paragon. An area comparable to a big city was covered by a mentality barrier, yet I didn't feel too much of an anomaly. The seniors of Suppressing Star City are remarkable. Su Ziyu laughed. Jiang Hao said calmly, It's normal for the 13 patriarchs to spend so many years. What's really amazing is still the King battleground. Creating such a boundary in one battle is not a matter of time. Therefore, the battle at the King battleground back then was more powerful than the barrier that the 13 paragons spent many years to build. This means that in that battle, the overall strength of the participants was much stronger than the 13 paragons. Su Ziyu disagreed, saying, That might not be the case. The patriarchs only did some expansion in their spare time. Battles are fought with all their might. The price paid by both sides is different. Jiang Hao did not refute. This was also a possibility. After the two of them talked for a while, a token appeared in Jiang Hao's hand. Suppressing Star City's token. The word town was written on it. Seeing this token, Fan Ping's expression suddenly changed. Not only him, Old Wang and the others did the same. The few of them remembered. Back then, after Yang Daohong and the others died in battle, they picked up such a token. After that, they seemed to have returned the rank 9 divine weapon. Fan Ping felt that this token was not too important. He did not pay much attention to it, as if he had thrown it in a corner of his storage space. At this moment, Jiang Hao took out the token. Vitality surged into the token, and the token instantly turned the color of blood jade. When the token changed color, a crystal door suddenly appeared in front of everyone. The original forest was now like water ripples, slightly rippling. Seeing Fan Ping and the others' curiosity, Jiang Chao explained, This is Suppressing Star City's pass. Everyone likes to do this kind of thing. It's the same in the bounded boundaries. The mentality barrier only recognizes the token and the bloodline aura of the 13 families. If you want to enter the city, first, you must have the token, and second, you must have the bloodline aura of the 13 families. Su Ziyu's expression darkened. Which side were the Jiang brothers on? They spilled everything. Jiang Chao did not care about him. He was very unhappy with Su Ziyu. Back then, he was a little interested in Su Zissou, but this guy always talked bad about him in front of Su Zissou. He could not beat him, or else Jiang Chao would have beaten him to death. He said what he wanted, and Su Ziyu could not control him. Jiang Chao continued, The tokens are made by the patriarchs themselves. Outsiders can't imitate them. Actually, only high-ranked martial artists have this thing. If the rest of us are not high-ranked, you can't go out. If we want to come out and train, we can't hide it from high-ranked martial artists, because we have to inform them to open the door. Is this the only door? Fang Ping asked casually. No, there are a total of 4 doors, and each side has one. The other places are purely mentality solidified barriers. The 13 Paragon Patriarchs work together to set it up, and no one can break it. As he spoke, the wave-like door became clearer and clearer. In front, Jian Hao shouted, "You can enter now." Everyone went forward. Through the transparent door, Fang Ping could already see some of the situation in the city, but it was like a crystal, so it was a little unreal. Star Town. There were not many people in Star Town. It was not a small place, and the decorations were magnificent. The bluestone ground was paved, and the traces of time were clear. Although it was located in the north, Star Town had some of the elegance of the ancient towns in the south. Small bridges, flowing water, old houses, big courtyards. A clear river divided the ancient town into 2 halves, and the river led to the mountains in the depths. Some osmanthus trees were planted on the riverbank. It was the season for flowers to bloom, and the city was filled with the fragrance of osmanthus. At the end of a bluestone path, many people were gathered. There were old and young, powerhouses and weaklings. Among the crowd, some young people gathered together, standing at the back. Someone glanced at the few old men standing ramrod straight in front of them and whispered, "Grandpa Su and the others want to pick someone up. Who is so important? Is King Wu and the others coming?" "No, I heard it's Fang Ping and the others." "Have you heard of them?" "Fang Ping?" Some people were at a loss. Before reaching rank 6, many people in Star Town had never left the city in their entire lives. When they heard the name, they were at a loss at first, then realization hit them, and they exclaimed, "You mean the one who killed Jiang Feng? That's him. Why would Grandpa Su and the others? Why would they let him come to Star Town? I don't know. It seems like something happened. Then the Yang family, I don't know about that. Didn't you see it just now? Yang Jingjing went to each house early in the morning. I think she's there to get them to stand up for the Yang family." "I see. I was wondering why Jingjing's eyes were red from crying so early in the morning. I thought she missed Grandpa Yang and the others." The person who spoke was not very old. As he spoke, he said indignantly, "For the past 2 years, Jingjing has been washing her face with tears every day. First, something happened to Patriarch Yang, then Grandpa Yang, second Uncle Yang and the others. Then, Grandpa Yang he and Yang Feng met with trouble too. Big brother Yang Qing hasn't been back for a long time. I heard that something happened to him too. Things are already like this, yet they still let Fang Ping come to Star Town. This is too much. What are Grandpa Su and the others thinking? Isn't this making Jingjing feel bad?" At this point, the person's eyes moved, and he said, "Could it be that they let him in and kill him to avenge the Yang family?" Someone beside him looked helpless and whispered, "Don't talk nonsense. I heard that King Wu is nurturing him. Grandpa Su and the others won't kill him. Despicable!" Many young people looked indignant. At this moment, someone said in a low voice, "Yang Jingjing is here." In Yang Qing's generation, there were not many direct descendants in the Yang family. Yang Feng and Yang Mu were not really direct descendants. In this generation, there were only Yang Qing and Yang Jingjing in the Yang family's direct descendants. Now, the Yang family's high ranks were all annihilated. The strongest one had actually become Yang Mu. However, Yang Mu seemed to have no intention of taking over as the family head. Ever since the youth competition ended, he had been in closed-door cultivation and was unwilling to show himself again. At this time, the Yang family's peak rank 5 Yang Jingjing had taken over as the family head. This was also the only special situation in the 13 families where a middle-ranked martial artist took over as the family head. At the other end of the bluestone path, a few young men and women walked over together. The young woman walking in front had a head of long black hair that fell over her shoulders, and her big eyes were slightly red and swollen. Unlike the others, she was not dressed in ordinary clothes, but in snow-white clothes. In front of the crowd, a few old people who were still waiting for the door to open turned their heads and took a glance, frowning slightly. Beside young Jingjing, Su Zissa whispered, "Jingjing, I'm begging you, go back." Yang Jingjing's eyes were red. She gritted her teeth and said, "I'm no match for him, and I won't seek revenge on him. I just want to know, where is my brother?" Big brother Yang Qing entered the king's battleground, but he went last time too. After he went, my brother never came back. Yang Jingjing's eyes reddened even more. She choked and said, "Elder ancestor is dead, grandpa is dead, second uncle and the rest are all dead. Second grandpa, cousin Feng, they're all dead. Now my brother is gone too. Susu, the Yang family is gone. I just want to ask him, why did he treat the Yang family so harshly? Is my brother dead or alive? Martial King is powerful, but he didn't have to use the Yang family to establish his dominance. Jingjing, it's not like that, it's Susu. I know what you want to say." Yang Jingjing interrupted. "You all said that cousin Feng wanted to kill him, second grandpa wanted to kill him. These things are over, and the Yang family has no ability to seek revenge. I said I'm here to ask if my brother is dead or not." Su Zissa looked conflicted, but she could not say anything else. At this moment, someone said in a low voice, "The south door is open." As soon as this was said, everyone looked toward the end of the bluestone path. Jiang Hao stepped in. In the next moment, it was not Su Ziyu who came in, but an unfamiliar young man. The young man was dressed in black, with long black leather boots on his feet. His hair was short and sharp. At this moment, there was a wide smile on his face. As soon as he entered the door, he bowed slightly and smiled. "Grandmaster Su, Grandmaster Jiang, how dare I trouble the Grandmasters to wait here? I'm flattered. Fang Ping, no, I should call you Vice-Chancellor Fang. I haven't seen you for a few days." Vice-Chancellor Fang killed a rank 8 and is rank 3rd in the rank 7 ranking. "It's impressive. Compared to you, I feel that we're really old. Vice-Chancellor Wang, Vice-Chancellor Yao, and the others are also young and promising, with outstanding grace." Both parties stood at the door and exchanged greetings. At this moment, the young people behind all knew that this was Fang Ping. "He's Fang Ping? He should be. Killing a rank 8, how old is he? I think he's 20. No way. Didn't you say he was only rank 6? That's old news. I heard that Grandpa Su and the others went to his Grandmaster's banquet and entered rank 7. Everyone was discussing fervently. Now, if you ask any more questions, I don't have to answer them. You. Arrogant. This guy is still so arrogant even in Star Town. The people behind them started discussing. Fang Ping glanced at Su Haoran and the others and chuckled. "Hi, Grandmaster Su, those who know will think that we're here as guests. Those who don't might think that we're here to ask for forgiveness. I, Fang Ping, am innocent, and I don't need to ask for forgiveness from anyone. I came to Star Town because I was invited, Fang Ping." Fang Ping interrupted with a smile. "Don't mind me, High Grandmaster. I'm young and impetuous. Sometimes I like to be blunt. Desperation powerhouses protect mankind. I've said it many times. I admire and respect them. But this doesn't mean that others don't respect us." After saying that, Fang Ping shouted coldly, "I've destroyed 2 royal cities. I've killed dozens of high-ranked martial artists from the catacombs. I've been a general in the military department. The enemies I've killed are more than you've ever seen. The Paragon can look down on me, but it's not up to you to question me. I have family and a younger sister. If my sister dares to question and criticize a Grandmaster, I, Fang Ping, will not let her off lightly. Star Town has disappointed me again and again. The younger generation is ridiculous. Arrogant." After saying that, a fist shadow broke through the air. Su Haoran's face was livid. he shouted angrily. Bastard! Just as he was about to attack, Fang Ping leaped into the air and punched with his golden fist. In the void, the fist's shadow shook the sky. The surrounding young men and women felt like they were suffocating. Bang! A loud bang was heard. In the distance, a young martial artist was sent flying hundreds of meters, blood splattering in the air. Fang Ping landed on the ground. He glanced into the distance, snorted softly, and said nothing. The other young people also kept quiet at this moment. The person who attacked just now was an upper stage rank 7. His reputation in Star Town was no less than Jiang Hao's. However, with one punch, he was severely injured by Fang Ping. At this moment, he was sent flying, and he was nowhere to be seen. It was obvious that either his injuries were not light, or he felt too embarrassed to show his face again. Beside him, Su Haoran sighed softly. I'm sorry, we didn't discipline him well. Meng Yu is not a troublemaker. Just now, he was probably itching for a fight. Please forgive him, Vice-Chancellor Fang. Fang Ping smiled. It's understandable. Among the rank 7 martial artists, I, Fang Ping, am ranked 3rd. There are many people who are not convinced. Meng Yu can take a punch with 30% of my strength. Among the younger generation, he's considered a powerhouse. Fang Ping smiled calmly, but his words were insolent. For a moment, even the grandmasters were speechless. Fang Ping did not care about them. These old fellows might not be as kind as they appeared. He had already said that he was here as a guest, yet they still sent people to test him. What was the meaning of this? Would a rank 9 powerhouse react so slowly? Logically, Meng Yu's figure had not even been seen. Once he attacked, Su Haoran and the others should have reacted. There were 3 rank 9s here. Would they not be able to take a punch from a rank 7 martial artist? What a joke! However, they did not stop him. Since they were like this, Fang Ping did not stand on ceremony. He smiled again. I've always been willing to spar with people of the same rank. Upper stage or peak, I'm fine with either. If you're interested, I can arrange a few matches. However, on the first day I learned martial arts, my teacher taught me that when martial artists go into the arena, victory and defeat will be decided, and life and death will be decided. Su Haoran and the others' pupils contracted slightly. Fang Ping smiled again. Even if it's a rank 9 spar, although I can't do it, MC Miyu has 2 rank 9 grandmasters. We can also have a friendly match. As for a desperate situation, everyone, please look for Minister Zhang. MC Miyu can't afford it. Wei Yong chuckled. Vice-Chancellor Fang, you're too serious. Su Haoran also said. That's not what Stellar Sky City meant. Beside them, Jiang Yuanhua smiled. All right, this farce should be over. Let's go to the conference hall and have a chat. As he said that, he turned around and shouted. All right, all of you are dismissed. If you really want to die, then arrange for a spar at the airport. I can help you arrange it. Life and death will not be decided. As soon as he said that, some people were annoyed, some were unwilling, but no one said a word. At this moment, Fang Ping could not help but glance at Jiang Yuanhua and the others. Beside him, Jiang Hao said lazily, Don't look. It's on purpose to save some trouble. Martial artists are all like this, asking for a beating. All of them think they're the best in the world. If you beat them up, they'll behave. It's better to let them out than to block them. Even if I didn't tell you in advance, I don't think you'll lose to them. Fang Ping also smiled. So, you want me to make an example out of them? Wrong. Make an example out of them. Old Monkey and the others are already rank 9. Can you make an example out of them? Beside him, Wei Yong and Su Haoran both glanced at him. Jiang Yuanhua was also straightforward. With a wave of his hand, he slapped Jiang Hao until he disappeared. Only then did he laugh. You're used to being disrespectful, but Jiang Hao was right. These juniors have not left Star Town for a long time. Instead of suppressing them, it's better to let them suffer a little. It's fine if I hit them harder just now. Since you're here in Star Town, I dare not say anything else, But if someone provokes you here, if you don't kill them, then I'll bear all the responsibility. If a rank 8 or 9 attacks you, don't worry, there's no need for MC Mayu and King Wu to come. Star Town doesn't have this kind of atmosphere. Other than that old thing Yang He, no one would bully the weak. Don't think that Yang He is Star Town. He doesn't represent Star Town. Even if the Yang family's elder ancestor was still alive, I would still say the same. After saying that, Jiang Yuanhua looked at Yang Jingjing, who was not far away, and said calmly, "Go back. Recuperate well. Star Town won't abandon anyone, but we won't allow you to do whatever you want either. You're still young. Cultivate well. If there's a day when you think you can take revenge on Fang Ping." Jiang Yuanhua looked at Fang Ping and said, "Fang Ping, on account of the elder ancestor standing up for you a few times, if that day comes, I'll arrange for the two of you to have a fair fight. What do you think?" Fang Ping chuckled. "Since old Jiang said so, I have no objections." Jiang Yuanhua smiled and nodded. He looked at Yang Jingjing again and said, "You heard him. If you want revenge, martial artists don't need to scheme. As long as you're stronger than Fang Ping, then you'll have a chance. If you're not as strong as him, then you'll have to cultivate in Star Town. Yang Jingjing, you're already the head of the Yang family. I won't treat you like a child anymore. Go back and stir up trouble again. Don't blame Star Town for ignoring our 300 years of kinship." Among the crowd, Yang Jingjing's eyes were red. She looked around and said nothing more. She turned and left. After she left, Jiang Yuanhua said to Fang Ping, "Don't worry. If she really succeeds in her cultivation, she won't implicate anyone in the Fang family. Star Town won't allow this either." Beside him, Li Han Song said gloomily, "So, she's the only one who can seek revenge on Fang Ping?" Fang Ping pressed his hands together and smiled. "This isn't to give her face, but to give Senior Warlord face. Senior Warlord has protected me many times, and I can't repay him. If a weak girl wants revenge, then come. I have to repay Senior Warlord's favor." Jiang Yuanhua sighed softly when he said that. He did not know if he had lost out on this matter. Fang Ping had returned Warlord's favor with a few simple sentences. Warlord had protected Fang Ping 3 times, once in Nanjiang, once in the King Battleground, and once in the Magic City Catacombs. A debt of gratitude was really hard to repay. Fang Ping was happy to use this kind of thing to return the favor. Very good. He was not like old Zhang. Old Zhang was too cunning. Although he had taken a lot of benefits from Fang Ping, he did owe him a lot of favors that had not been repaid. The favor that Fang Ping owed now would not be of any help to Absolute Summit. However, no one could say for sure what would happen in the future. Jiang Yuanhua had made Fang Ping passively accept someone else's revenge. This was not right, but he had used Warlord to speak, so naturally, the favor had been repaid. Fang Ping was still very satisfied. As for what Jiang Yuanhua thought, it was none of his business. Behind him, Jiang Chao glanced at his grandfather. Was the old man sick? Fang Ping and the others obviously had a bright future ahead of them. Was it necessary to use the old man's favor for the Yang family? Fatty Jiang would not believe that the old man did not have the intention of doing them a favor the past few times. The first time was in Nanjiang, the second was in the King Battleground, and the third time was without Chang Tao's invitation. The old man took the initiative to go to the Magic City Catacombs. His intentions were clear. The old man must be out of his mind. Jiang Chao cursed in his heart, but he dared not say it out loud. Otherwise, the old man would beat him until his head was out of his mind. Chapter 644. Fang Ping really did not think much of the younger generation in Star City. It was not just him. Qin Fengqing was also extremely arrogant, looking at the middle-ranked martial artists provocatively. Star Town's intention was clear. If Fang Ping and the others wanted to spar with the young people, they would not stop them. As long as both parties had no objections, it was up to them as long as no one died. Since the other party was provoking Fang Ping, Qin Fengqing felt that there was nothing wrong with provoking them now. Therefore, Qin Fengqing looked at the rank 6 youths with divine weapons and spat a few mouthfuls of phlegm or saliva. It was full of provocation. Fan Ping and the others ignored him, not even Su Haoran and the others. As long as they did not die, they could spar as they pleased. The older generation of Star Town had a lot of experience. They had also been young and frivolous, so they knew what the younger generation of Star Town was thinking. Back then, Liemo had even gone to MC Miyu to challenge the old vice-chancellor. As Jiang Hao said, martial artists were full of confidence, thinking that they were the best in the world. After being beaten up, they would naturally know the difference. Seeing that no one cared, Qin Fengqing became bolder. He muttered, "Don't look at me because I'm peak rank 6. I'm very weak. I can't even beat early stage rank 6. I don't have anything but money. Life essence in tons. If you have the guts, let's fight. I'll bet dozens of divine weapons." Having said that, he glared at Jiang Chao beside him. Jiang Chao's face darkened. Seeing the baldy threatening him, he was full of grievances. "This is my lair. Are you threatening me?" Fine, the baldy was quite fierce. He was beaten up last night, and cheated of a divine weapon in the past. Thinking of this, Jiang Chao sighed in his heart and whispered, "Do you have a death wish? There are many rank 6 martial artists in the city who are much stronger than me. You can't even beat me. I almost broke that thing last night, and you're still provoking me. You. Stop talking nonsense. I also beat you up last night, Baldy. Are you stupid? I don't rely on fighting for a living. We're of the same rank, but you're actually not my match." As Jiang Chao said that, he whispered, "Do you really have life essence?" "Nonsense. We won the battle in Skygate City, and I got a few dozen kilograms. I also had some savings in the past. A few tons is a joke, but at least 100 kilograms. Then let's cut the crap. Let's go and spar." "I'm not doing it. You're not going to bet with me on divine weapons. Let's bet. My boots are divine weapons." "Only one? That's too little. My pervert has 2 swords and a set of divine weapon armor. I'll use them to bet." "Really?" "Of course, we'll definitely win anyway." The two of them echoed each other. The people walking in front all looked at Jian Yuanhua. Jian Yuanhua's handsome face was ashen. "My grandson is working with others to swindle the people of Star City. Damn, is this my grandson? Did they carry the wrong child?" Putting aside the fact that he was fat, he was almost as fat as the old ancestor. But what was going on with him working with others to harm his own people? Although MC Meiyu's Qin Fengqing was not as powerful as Fang Ping and the others, as a sacred place, Star Town's intelligence network was still very strong. Qin Fengqing, who was only an early stage rank 6 not long ago, entered the rank 6 ranking 99th. Now, not long after, he had achieved peak rank 6. These things, they were not very clear about the situation. They could only explain it as the resurrection of a martial artist. His strength had increased a lot in an instant. Was the current Qin Fengqing really weak? This was a powerhouse who had walked out of a mountain of corpses. It was said that he had entered the catacombs countless times. In the Battle of Skygate City, he had truly achieved invincibility among his peers, killing more than double digits of rank 6 martial artists. When he sparred with a martial artist like this, it was a real sparring session. Qin Fengqing and Jiang Chao had a good relationship, and it did not involve interests. However, once he bet on divine weapons, Fang Ping shook his head at the thought. At that time, Qin Fengqing would probably dare to fight even at mentality-vitality fusion. Moreover, it was hard to say whether he would live or die. He did not say that it was hard to say who would win or lose. Qin Fengqing was most likely not a match for mentality-vitality fusion, but on the stage, life and death and victory were different. Once this guy's eyes turned red, he might risk his life. If a mentality-vitality fusion realm fought him, it was hard to say who would die. Behind them, the two of them continued. As Jiang Chao spoke, he suddenly lowered his voice, so low that it could not be heard. He whispered, "Why don't we fight for real? I'll go look for my pervert. That divine weapon armor belongs to me, and the divine weapon belongs to you." Qin Fengqing swallowed, whispering, "What does he want?" "It's hard to say, but if you take out the life essence, he might do it. He believes you." "Nonsense, I'm still his younger brother." Then I'll go ask Fang Ping." "But one divine weapon is too little. The divine weapon armor is 3 times the value of a normal divine weapon." "Then what do you want?" "I'll suffer some losses." "Give me your boots too." "This?" "Okay. Then it's settled. But it's best to wait a little longer. When your people can't help but challenge me, I'll get 2 divine weapons first." "That won't do. If you win, my pervert won't believe that I can win." "Is that so? Then it's a little troublesome. Why don't we sign a wager and battle agreement first, then fight one by one and stake the items first?" "That seems possible." Both of them were not high ranks, and did not have a mentality shield. Although their voices were so low that they could not be heard, rank 6 powerhouses probably could not hear them. But the key was that there were rank 9 powerhouses present. Fang Ping could hear them. At this moment, his expression was very pleasant. Jiang Yuanhua was so angry that his face was livid. This damn fatty, he even wanted to cheat his own big brother? Even collaborating to cheat. What was he thinking? Where was his brain? The 2 rank 9s, Wei Yong and Su Haoren, did not say a word, holding back their laughter. Continue, this was possible. Anyway, they could not be bothered with the Jiang family's affairs. Jiang Hao was also a detestable person in Star Town. If the 2 divine weapons were really cheated away, then it would be interesting. Both of them were still talking when Jiang Yuanhua suddenly scolded. "Shut up! If you continue talking, I'm going to clean house today." Last time, this kid sold Star Town. To be honest, standing up for the Yang family today was kind of like paying off Jiang Chao's debt. But this damn fatty, he was doing it again. Last time when Jiang Chao sold everything in Star Town, he was the one who revealed to the public that Yang Daohong and the others were going to the bounded zones. This matter could not be hidden. Jiang Yuanhua had given him a good beating before. Unexpectedly, this fellow did not learn his lesson. If not for this matter, would he have used the old ancestor's favor to pay off the debt? It was not Jiang Yuanhua's fault. This damn fatty was the one who cheated his grandfather, and the old ancestor. Okay. Fang Ping sympathized with old Master Jiang a little. It was really not normal for you to have 2 grandsons. These 2 grandsons were enough to give you a headache. Only Warlord was strong. Otherwise, he might not be able to protect them. Thinking of this, Fang Ping thought of something and said, "Old Jiang Chao's parents." He realized that these descendants in Star Town seemed to be hanging around the old man. Could it be that his parents had died in battle? Hearing that, Jiang Yuanhua sighed. His father is useless. He's still rank 6 now. He can't stay in Star Town forever. Plus how? He's already rank 7. A few years ago, he went to the military department. Fang Ping was a little surprised. So that was it. His son was stronger than his father. No wonder Jiang Chao's father could not stand it, and ran away. However, brother Jiang Chao's relationship with his father might not be that good. He had almost never heard Jiang Chao mention it. As they walked, they reached the center of the small city. When they reached the center, Fang Ping and the others could not help but look at the tower in the center. Li Hansong murmured, "Fang Ping, did you build it according to this?" Fang Ping shook his head, then smiled. "This is Star Town's martial arts tower?" "That's right." Su Haoren continued. "This tower is built entirely from rank 9 energy stones. It's solidified and guided by the mentality of the ancestors. There are 6 floors in the tower, and each floor has 10 rooms. Every cultivation room will absorb the energy in the energy stones evenly. When the consumption reaches a certain level, we will break a large number of low-grade energy stones to replenish it. Rank 9 energy stones can absorb energy to replenish it. This way, although it can't be endless, with low-grade energy stones to replenish it, this martial arts tower is a holy land for cultivation. Fan Ping was still a little envious. It was good to have a peek. This tower was not quite the same as his mineral vein. His mineral vein was a mix of mid-grade and high-grade energy stones. There were rank 7 and rank 9 high-grade energy stones, and there were even some energy crystals mixed in. This tower, on the other hand, was really built purely from rank 9 energy stones. Pure rank 9 energy stones were really worth 600,000 per gram. This was MCMAU's buyback price, and also the system's estimated price. 2,000 caddies per ton, that was worth 600 billion, no discount. How heavy was this tower? Jiang Chao and the others had told him before. At that time, Fan Ping estimated that it was at least tens of thousands of caddies. Now that he had seen the real thing, Fan Ping did a rough calculation. Even if it was hollow in the middle, this 6-story tower was at least 50,000 caddies. 25 tons! 15 trillion! Fan Ping's expression was indifferent. He did not say anything, but it made the rank 9s look up to him. However, when they thought about how MCMAU had seized Skygate City's giant mine before, they could understand. Fan Ping was not someone who had not seen the world. Although this guy was young, he was strong and had seen many big scenes. A martial arts tower was indeed difficult to move him. Fan Ping did not say anything, and neither did Old Wang and the others. However, each of them swept a few glances at the martial arts tower, their faces indifferent, as if calculating the effects of cultivating here. Behind them, Li Fei and the others who had just arrived had already gathered with Fatty. Seeing that the few in front of them were scanning the martial arts tower, Zheng Nanqi swallowed and said in a low voice, This should be okay, right? He remembered. That day when these few entered the king's battleground, their eyes were bloodshot. When they saw those divine weapons, it was as if they were on steroids, their eyes green. Each of them was like a vicious wolf. But now, could it be that becoming a grandmaster had changed their personalities? The few of them looked indifferent, as if they did not see that this martial arts tower was built with rank 9 energy stones. Even Qin Fengqing, who was at the side, looked indifferent at this time. Jiang Chao glanced at Qin Fengqing from the corner of his eye. There was nothing unusual, but... Damn it, the A-class alloy hilt in your hand is almost deformed from your grip. How excited are you? Jiang Chao was mentally exhausted. He glanced at the few old men in front of him. All of you should leave quickly. Why are you still here? Don't show your wealth, understand? Showing off your wealth in front of a few thugs with tens of thousands of kilograms of rank 9 energy stones, aren't you afraid of being robbed? It was still okay now, but when these fellows became stronger, it was hard to say. When they became really strong, the probability of these fellows robbing the catacombs would be higher. Jiang Chao consoled himself for a while, then thought, what does this have to do with me? The martial arts tower doesn't belong to me. This place was shared by everyone. If they were robbed, it would have nothing to do with him. He rarely came here to cultivate. Just as Jiang Chao was cursing silently, Qin Fengqing said, There don't seem to be many good things in Star Town. Why don't I use my life essence to bet on the Martial Path Tower? This building is quite beautiful. I like it. Li Fei and the rest did not know what was going on and looked confused. Behind them, Su Zisu also walked over. She glared at Jiang Chao and Qin Fengqing, then looked at the crowd and scolded. Don't believe them. Qin Fengqing is very strong, you guys can't beat him. In front, Su Haoren's heart was also broken. Granddaughter, are you sure you're not adding fuel to the fire? They were all young people, could they take this kind of provocation? Even if they did not want to challenge Qin Fengqing, after hearing this, could they hold it in? Among the younger generation in Star Town, Su Zissa might not be pursued by everyone, but there were many who did. There were both men and women present. The women might not care, but what about the men? The women who pursued them told them to stop fighting. They couldn't do it. This was not persuasion, but the opposite. You must fight, beat that bastard to death. The two rank 9 powerhouses looked sorrowful. They were getting worse with each generation. Although they were muddle-headed when they were young, they were not stupid. How did these two become fools? As they were thinking about this, as expected, some of the young men and women in the periphery squeezed in. Someone glanced at the high ranks in front. Seeing that they did not say anything, he whispered, "Qin Feng Qing, right? If you have the guts, let's go to the arena later and fight. Sure, other than that divine weapon, do you have anything else? You forget it, seeing how poor you are, I'll bet on your divine weapon. I'll pay the equivalent of my life essence." "Okay. Don't be like this, you guys. We lost 5 divine weapons last time." Su Zissa panicked, saying hurriedly, "Qin Feng Qing is provoking you guys on purpose. He defeated Jiang Chao last time when he was only a rank 5. Jiang Chao humphed. "Did I lose last time? Who was more injured? I withdrew because I thought you guys could win later. Qin Feng Qing is the weakest." Fang Ping and the others agreed to you guys last time. The facts have proven that they are indeed strong. Without Fang Ping and the others, can Baldi win? Jiang Chao. Did I say something wrong? As Jiang Chao spoke, he winked at Qin Feng Qing. When the second young man walked over, seeing that he did not have a divine weapon, Qin Feng Qing looked like he was going to refuse. Jiang Chao said casually, "Jiang Nan, are you going to bet with your golden fruit? Your uncle Jiang risked his life to get it for you." The man called Jiang Nan was stunned. Qin Fengqing's eyes lit up, saying casually, "That works too. This kind of energy fruit is helpful in building the body. It can be used as a bet. Lu Ji, you're not going to bet with your dark moon herb, are you? That's for you to use after you've achieved mentality-vitality fusion. This can also be used as a bet. It's not worth much." At the back, Jiang Chao and Qin Feng Qing echoed each other. Jiang Chao was not tempted at first, but seeing that there were more people, he suddenly put his hand on Qin Fengqing's shoulder and squeezed him hard for a while. Half each. Otherwise, he would quit. These guys were so impulsive, so easily hooked. He wanted benefits too. If he got some good stuff, he might be able to achieve mentality-vitality fusion quickly. Everyone did not know what agreement the two had reached. They only knew that after that, Jiang Chao went around persuading everyone to stop betting and not to bet with good stuff. Although Qin Feng Qing was not his opponent, they might not be able to beat him. He, Jiang Chao, could win because he, Jiang Chao, was powerful. Were you guys more powerful than me, Jiang Chao? If it was someone else saying this, no one would object. But the lazy Jiang Chao, this damn fatty, dared to look down on them. How could they tolerate it? More and more people gathered at the back. As for Fang Ping and the others, they had already left with Su Haoran and the others. They did not want to listen anymore. Su Haoran and Jiang Yuanhua did not want to say a word now. Jiang Chao was the scum of Star City. Everyone acknowledged this. Su Zissou could only say that she was too naive. She was still persuading them, sweating profusely from anxiety. Was this girl pretending to be stupid? It would have been better if she did not say anything. The more she said, the angrier everyone became. Previously, the rank 7 Mingyu was sent flying by Fang Ping with one punch. He dared not show his face until now. It was fine if the rank 7 people were not Fang Ping's opponents. How could a rank 6 not be Qin Fengqing's opponents? If Jiang Chao could win, why couldn't they? They had not even been to the King battleground. It was not that they did not ask around. MC Meiyu's Qin Feng Qing was not famous. They heard that he was a once-honed martial artist. How could geniuses like them not be a match for a martial artist like this? Once honed, peak rank 6 in his 20s. Did he have time to cultivate combat techniques? A martial artist like this probably stayed in the energy mine to cultivate all day long. They really believed Qin Feng Qing when he said that he had hundreds of caddies of life essence. Otherwise, there was no reason for this guy to cultivate so quickly after once honing. After they were far away from this group of people, Jiang Yuanhua suddenly sighed. Sometimes, I'm actually confused. Is it good to keep going like this? If you're not rank 6, you can't even leave Star Town. When martial artists from the outside world were their age, they'd entered the catacombs dozens of times. Their hands were already covered in the enemy's blood. They'd killed at least 80 enemies, if not 100. But these kids sigh. Jian Yuanhua was really a little sad. He did not know what to say for a moment. Beside him, Su Haoran said softly, "Your 2 kids are not bad. My family is really a headache. Ziyu, Zisu, and the rest are too young. They don't know anything about the ways of the world. But if they're really thrown into the catacombs at such a young age, can you bear to do that?" Fang Ping continued. "It'll get better after a long time. My sister is the same. She doesn't know anything. I'm also troubled by this. If I don't let her go through this, I'm afraid she'll be cheated in the future. If I let her go through it, I'm afraid something will happen. It's hard being a parent. Instead of suffering losses in the catacombs in the future, it's better to suffer losses in the hands of our own people now. Look at Li Fei and the rest. I realize they're much more mature now. It's hard." Jian Yuanhua had just echoed when he suddenly looked at Fang Ping with a strange expression. "You're just a 20-year-old young man. Is it appropriate for you to echo us like an old man? To suffer losses in the hands of our own people? Aren't you just saying that they should fight a few rounds and lose badly to improve their memory? Li Fei and the rest are much more mature now. So mature that they even lost their divine weapons. This kid Fang Ping, he's so young. How could he be so black-hearted?" At this moment, the few rank 9s had a clear understanding of Fang Ping. He was thick-skinned and black-hearted. It was not without reason that this guy could be so popular in the outside world. It was not that they did not communicate with the outside world. Zhang Tao's protection of this kid was now a public matter. It was not just Zhang Tao. Many Grandmaster powerhouses they knew had nothing but good things to say about Fang Ping. When this kid should be insolent, he would be insolent to the extreme. When he should be low-key, he would be low-key to the extreme. When he spoke to people, he would speak to ghosts. Jian Yuanhua suddenly did not want to talk to Fang Ping. This guy was not a good person. Su Haoran, who was beside him, scanned Fang Ping for a while. This kid was a talent. If his family's Susu could be together, Su Haoran thought for a while but did not say anything. Although Fang Ping kept stirring up trouble, he was indeed very capable and had a strong background. As a commoner, he had been in the martial arts world for 2 years. Not only did he become a grandmaster, but he also had a large group of powerhouses behind him. This was not an easy feat looking at the people present: Wang Jinyang, Li Hansong, Yao Qingjun, who was not a dragon among men. However, after they came in, they all followed Fang Ping's lead. A genius who could subdue the prodigies of his generation was the real deal. Could people like Wang Jinyang be convinced by others? Even rank 9 might not be able to convince them. In addition, there were many powerhouses in MC Mayu. Zhang Tao was also protecting them. In the military department, Li Daong and the others were also on good terms with Fang Ping. In martial arts universities, many grandmasters were also close to Fang Ping. After careful consideration, although Fang Ping did not reveal himself, when it came to the point of risking his life, it might not be difficult to gather 30 to 50 grandmasters. They did not say anything. Wei Yong glanced at a middle-aged rank 7 beside him. Others did not care, but the Wei family's disciples were not allowed to gamble on natural treasures. They could spar, but they were not allowed to add stakes. There were many good things in Star Town. They and the elder ancestor had gone through a lot to get them. They could not let this group of brats spoil them. As for the other families who did not have elders coming, that was their business. If they lost, they could not blame them for not asking. They did not talk about this anymore. After passing the martial arts tower, they walked along the bluestone path for a while. In front of them, a palace building appeared in front of them. Su Haoran said, "This is the meeting hall. It is also the place where the elder ancestors gather to discuss matters when they return. This time, I invited all of you here. There are still some things that must be clarified to avoid misunderstanding. In addition, we have also invited a few resurrected martial artists from the back of the mountain to rush over. As he spoke, Qin Fengqing had also rushed over. He held more than 10 notes in his hands, his face full of joy. It was only when he saw Fan Ping and the others that his joy faded and he stuffed all the notes into his pocket. These were all challenge letters. Everything that was bet was written clearly. He had already said that they would spar after he was done with the official business. This time, he wanted to take all the benefits. Qin Fengqing was secretly pleased. Fan Ping and the others were already rank 7. Sometimes, some things were not easy to handle. He was only rank 6. Instead, his chances were greater. Fan Ping glanced at him and did not care about him. Do you really think you will win? If I don't give you any benefits and help you recover, you will be beaten to death sooner or later after a few fights. If you want to win, then spit out the benefits honestly. Do you think I will really give you all? You will be the fighter, and I will be behind the scenes. It's not bad. After all, he was already a grandmaster. He could not simply step down from the stage and do this kind of thing. It would be a joke. Su Haoran glanced at them, feeling somewhat helpless. He did not care about Qin Fengqing and continued, "Let's go in. Also, the other families will also send people over later. It's really rare for resurrected martial artists to come to Star City only after reaching rank 7. Su Haoran did not know what he was thinking, but he felt a little emotional. Resurrected martial artists' cultivation was not that simple. Some resurrected martial artists might die of old age as ordinary people. It was not impossible. Fan Ping and the others were young. They had only come to Star City after cultivating to this stage. Moreover, they had the support of the Martial King behind them. Some things could not be done according to the usual practice. If that was not the case, there was no need for 3 rank 9s to personally receive them. At the high ranks, everything was different. For middle and low-ranked resurrected martial artists, no matter what the situation was, whatever they said would go. There was no need to care too much. Fan Ping did not reply. He followed everyone into the meeting hall. Before entering the hall, Fan Ping's expression changed slightly. Outside the hall, there were several sculptures more than 10 meters tall. They were all faceless. Were these the sculptures from Star City's peak? Fan Ping swept his gaze around. There were 12 sculptures. These sculptures were made entirely of energy crystals. Such a huge energy crystal actually represented such a huge and complete energy stone. Fan Ping had almost never seen it before. Even in the royal city's giant mine, he had not seen such a huge and complete one. Moreover, there were traces of time left on them. How many years ago were these sculptures really energy crystals that had used up all their energy? Perhaps they were huge energy stones that were filled with energy. 12 sculptures. Fan Ping was slightly suspicious. The Yang family's elder ancestor had fallen, so they were withdrawn? Was Star City so realistic? P.S. Recommended book: The Empress's Gigolo. A book with 10,000 subscriptions. The author is also a super big shot, just a little ugly. Chapter 645. Fan Ping was looking at the sculptures, but Su Haoran and the others had no intention of explaining. Soon, they entered a spacious hall. The hall was very tall, and right at the front of the hall, there were 13 huge bronze thrones standing side by side. Fan Ping took a look. He did not have to guess to know that these were the seats of the 13 powerhouses. Although they might not come together, the seats were still prepared. Below the 13 bronze thrones, there were some seats on both sides. Su Haoran and the others entered but did not take their seats immediately. Instead, they saluted the bronze thrones. Fan Ping and the others followed suit and saluted as well. Su Haoran explained after the salute. The old ancestors are not from our era. Before the neo-martial era, the impasse realm was the king, the real king. Therefore, some etiquette is still necessary. Fan Ping nodded in understanding and smiled. Elder Su, you don't have to say it. It's the same even in modern times. I, Fan Ping, only have admiration and respect for all the impasse realm powerhouses. They guarded Mount Royal Sea for hundreds of years. If it were me, I wouldn't dare to say that I've reached the peak, but I can do it. Although some impasse realm powerhouses are a little disrespectful, I still admire them. Su Haoran and the others stiffened. Who are you talking about, kid? Fang Ping laughed dryly. I'm just joking. The director is a good person. I'm not talking about him. He treats me like a son. Fang Ping is touched and grateful. Why would I say bad things about him? Su Haoran and the others maintained their stiff posture. This kid seemed to be taking advantage of them? Although this bastard thought he was old Zheng's son, the key was that Zhang Tao's status and seniority were high. Fan Ping immediately raised his own seniority. What would Zhang Tao's grandchildren call him when they saw him? They did not know whether to laugh or cry, but they were also shocked. To be honest, they did not know much about the relationship between Fang Ping and Zhang Tao. They only knew that Zhang Tao protected Fang Ping because of his talent. However, Fang Ping's tone made him sound like he was one of them. Their relationship was closer than they had imagined. Fang Ping glanced at them and cursed in his heart. You guys are scared to death. Now, he had made up his mind to use old Zhang as a tiger's skin to scare people. He really didn't feel at ease staying in Startown. There were too many experts here. There were many rank 9s and many rank 8s. If it weren't for Zhang Tao, he wouldn't have been able to do things as easily as he did now. As Zhang Tao had said, the title of Martial King was worth quite a bit of money. The rank 9 martial artists from Stellar Sky City were so polite to him, but it was not because of MC Mayu. No matter how strong MC Mayu was, the only ones who had rank 9 combat strength were Old Wu and Old Manly. They were not worthy of suppressing Star City's efforts. The crowd did not say much. Fan Ping and the others took their seats on the right, while Su Haoran and the others took their seats on the left. A moment later, someone else arrived outside the hall. Fan Ping and the others stood up again. Su Haoran also helped to introduce them. This time, there were quite a lot of people, including the elderly and middle-aged. Liamo, you've met him before. Fan Ping nodded and smiled at Liamo. He had met Liamo many times. Liamo replied, My big brother is currently in seclusion. This time, I'll be listening in on the Li family's matters. The Li family had a rank 9 powerhouse. He was also Li Mo's big brother, and the current family head of the Li family. At the same time, he was Li Fei's grandfather and Li Jin's cousin. The Li clan was the one that truly had as many experts as the clouds and was extremely powerful. 2 paragons, and both powerhouses among the paragons. On Li Jin's side, he had 2 sons. The eldest son had died in battle. The second son, who was also Li Yiming's father, was also a rank 8 golden body. On the third generation side, Li Yiming was about to reach rank 7. Li Yiming's uncle had 2 sons and a daughter. They were all rank 7 too. On the Li family's side, Liamo was a rank 8. The Li family had another rank 8 and 7 to 8 rank 7 martial artists. In a family like this, the number of high-ranked powerhouses exceeded 2 digits. They were not even considered as Li Jin's students. People like Li Daong from the military department were actually considered as Li Jin's students. Even Old Manly, whom Li Jin had only met a few times, could be considered as half a student when he imparted his absolute arts. This showed how powerful the Li family was. Soon, Fang Ping also felt this power. Liamo was only a rank 8. At this time, he was sitting on the first seat on the left. After Li Jin was Jiang Yuanhua. Fan Ping understood immediately. This was not a random seating arrangement. Over at Startown, it was relatively feudal. It was normal to rank according to the family's strength. Liamo was sitting on the first seat. Jiang Yuanhua was second. Su Haoran was third. The middle seat was empty. Wei Yong was fifth. The sixth seat was empty again, on the left. As the number of people who came increased, the number of people who sat down also increased. Fang Ping glanced at them. A total of 9 people came. This meant that there were still 4 families who had not arrived. Fan Ping listened to Su Haoran's introduction of the 4 families that had not arrived. He knew that the Qin, Xin, and Yang families had not arrived. As for the other family, he was not sure what their surname was at the moment. The 9 people on the left were rank 9, rank 7, and rank 8. Not all the family's patriarchs came. When these people arrived, Su Haoran smiled and said, "Everyone is here." The people at the back of the mountain are here too. Before he finished speaking, 3 people walked in from the door. Among these 3 people, one was an old woman wearing a Taoist robe. She had white hair and a crane-like complexion. She held a horsetail whisk in her hand. Another person had a shaved head without any ring scars. He was dressed in plain clothes and held prayer beads in his hand. The last person wore a crown hat. He wore a smile on his face and looked very scholarly. Fan Ping glanced at them from the corner of his eye. His gaze moved slightly. These 3 were all rank 8 golden body powerhouses. This was not simple. These people were the martial artists who had been resurrected. When these people arrived, everyone greeted them. Su Haoran smiled and introduced. "This is Priest Xianqing." Fan Ping and the others nodded slightly. The old woman also nodded in response. Then she sized them up carefully, not saying a word. "This is Master Hui Hong." The man who was dressed like a monk smiled at them but did not say a word. "This is Mr. Zihu." The scholarly man wearing a crown had also nodded slightly. After Su Haoran had finished his introduction, the scholarly man said softly, "Are you guys going to say it, or should we do it?" The monk at the side laughed and said, "Aren't you going to do some verification? There's no need. Whether it's true or not, we're all in the same boat after all. There's no harm in making a decision after we make it clear." The 3 newcomers chatted among themselves, leaving Fan Ping and the rest in a daze. They were at a loss. The others were not surprised. Su Haoran smiled and gestured for them to sit down. After they sat down, he said, "Let us do the talking." As he said that, he looked at Fan Ping and the others and asked, "How much do you know about the martial artists who have been resurrected?" Li Hansong looked at Fan Ping. Fan Ping said calmly, "I don't know much. I only know that the martial artists who have been resurrected might be ancient martial artists who have fallen incompletely. Now, they have been resurrected and have been reborn." Su Haoran nodded at first, then shook his head and said, "You can say yes, but you can't say no either. The so-called rebirth is a true rebirth. It means that the memories of the past life have to be recovered. This is the true reincarnation and rebirth. The so-called martial artists who have been resurrected do not mean that you are no longer yourself. It's just that after some ancient martial artists died, their remaining inextinguishable mentality or inextinguishable substance still have some vitality. Thus, they have combined with you as one, creating the modern martial artists who have been resurrected." Fan Ping pondered for a moment and said, "What you mean is that even if the martial artists who have been resurrected in Star City have not recovered the memories of their past lives?" "That's right." Su Haoran explained. The inextinguishable substance, or the inextinguishable mentality, is not the carrier of memories. It is just an inheritance of power. You can think of yourselves as the successors of those deceased seniors. Of course, the inextinguishable substance also has the aura of the origin of life. Your origin and the origin of the deceased seniors are also of the same origin. According to the theory of the origin of life, you can also think of yourselves as a continuation of life." Fan Ping and the others fell into silence. After a long time, Wang Jinyang said calmly, "Senior Su, whether it's the continuation of life or not, we don't care about these things. Whether it's an inheritor or something else, we are who we are. Wang Jinyang will only be Wang Jinyang. This will not change. Since there is no memory recovery, the martial artists who have been resurrected are just slightly faster than others in terms of cultivation. I can even think of this as a kind of martial arts cultivation talent. Does Senior Su think that this understanding is correct?" Su Haoran laughed and said, "It's good to have this kind of mentality. The few of you can enter rank 7 so quickly, not only because of the ability inheritance, but also because of yourselves. Beside him, the old Taoist priest also said lightly, "That's right. The ability inheritance can't change too many things. Resurrected martial artists have advantages and disadvantages. The few of you can reach where you are today, it's mostly because of this life's hard work. It was unfair to attribute everyone's achievements completely to the ability inheritance left behind in their past lives. These resurrected martial artists were also unwilling to leave such an impression on others." Fan Ping did not really want to listen to this, so he said straightforwardly, "Seniors, let's not talk about these digressions for now. This time, Star City invited us here. What do they need us to do? Or rather, what do they need us to give, and what can we get in return? Also, if I may be so bold, what is the ultimate purpose of Star City gathering so many resurrected martial artists?" Good question, and very straightforward too. Jiang Yuanhua, who was beside Su Haoran, laughed and said, "Old Su talks too much nonsense. Fan Ping, the few of you are not ignorant children. Some things, let's just talk openly." Jiang Yuanhua continued, "Although the Jiang family doesn't really participate in these things, we still know a lot about the resurrected martial artists. These things are also related to the Paragon old ancestors. We're not sure about the old ancestors. We only know that when Star City was established, the Back Mountain was included. There is a Myriad Origins Hall in the Back Mountain. According to the information left behind by the old ancestors, this Myriad Origins Hall was not built by the old ancestors themselves, but was discovered in a historical site. Later, the old ancestors moved this Myriad Origins Hall to Star City. In the Myriad Origins Hall, there are some records and fragments. 1,000 years ago, which is also the era of the sex decline, a group of powerhouses, or rather, all the powerhouses in the world, gathered together to complete a big plan. Fan Ping listened attentively. When he heard this and saw that Jiang Yuanhua did not continue, his face suddenly darkened. He said softly, "Old Jiang, please continue. What plan? How many powerhouses were there at that time, and what kind of plan would involve these people together?" "What plan? I'm not sure." Fan Ping frowned. "Are you kidding me? Since the Myriad Origins Hall was left behind, how could there be no information at all?" Jiang Yuanhua said helplessly. "Some things, I don't know whether they were not recorded, or taken away by the old ancestors. We don't know about this, but I don't mind telling everyone that the old ancestors might have covered up the news." Jiang Yuanhua did not deny the fact that some of the old ancestors had taken away some confidential information. This speculation was very likely. Jiang Yuanhua continued, "In short, 1,000 years ago, all the powerhouses in Sino Nation gathered together. They built the Myriad Origins Hall, and the powerhouses who walked out of their path of origin left their chi of origin and some of their understanding of the path of origin. This includes their names, origins, and some simple life stories. The powerhouses who did not walk out of their path of origin also left a wisp of life origin aura, proving that they had been here and participated. As for the number of people, there were many. In the Myriad Origins Hall, there were 318 small halls, and each hall had one person. To be able to leave a message in the Myriad Origins Hall, the lowest rank was rank 7, which means that there were 318 high-ranked powerhouses who participated in this plan. We don't know if all these people died in the master plan, nor do we know if some of them came back alive to retrieve some things. These are all things of the past, and there's no way to trace them back. However, the Myriad Origins Hall still exists, and some of the halls are still quite well preserved. The wisps of chi of origin left behind by the powerhouses from 1,000 years ago have been completely obliterated, and some are still sealed in the halls. As for you people, you are the inheritors of the powerhouses of that era. One of the reasons I asked you to come to Startown is for yourself. If you can find the corresponding chi of origin or life origin, you may be able to comprehend your own path of origin in advance, and re-embark on the martial arts path of your previous life. This will be very beneficial to your future cultivation. It's not just the chi of origin. Once you enter the hall corresponding to you, some of the imperishable substances hidden in your bodies may also be stimulated in advance, helping you to rapidly increase your realm. Of course, this isn't absolute. This is because some people can't find their own hall, because some halls may have been destroyed with the passage of time if not too many things were left behind, or if they were not well preserved. If that's the case, you won't be able to reap many benefits. At this point, Jiang Yuanhua glanced at the few of them, only to find that they were extremely calm. This time, Jiang Yuanhua could not help but ask, "The few of you, don't you have anything to say?" Fan Ping thought for a while, but still decided to cooperate and give him some face. He said, "In the Myriad Origins Hall, are there any paths of origin left by the supreme powerhouses?" That? I don't think so, but it's hard to say, because the paths of origin at the Supreme and Rank 9 are actually similar. What about those at the Supreme? That's definitely not the case. Otherwise, the ancestors would have said it too. Walking on the path of origin from your previous life. You died in your previous life, so what's the point of walking on it again in this life? Fan Ping was really not too interested, not to mention that he was an imposter. As he said that, he said again, "Right, old Jiang, if we walk on the path of origin from our previous life, can we walk on a new path in this life? In theory, it's possible, but since you've walked on one path, then you should continue walking down it. If you don't reach the end, then take a second path." "I'm afraid the chances are not high." Fan Ping understood and asked again, "These powerhouses who participated in the big plan back then, is the plan related to the catacombs? Are the seniors who died in the Battle of the King battleground this group of people? If they are, it means that there should be desperate realms involved, and there are quite a lot of them. And this group of people actually came from the bounded boundaries. Where did the Myriad Origins Hall come from? Moved here from the domain of domains? Or from the human world?" Jiang Yuanhua and the others were speechless for a moment. Fan Ping frowned and said, "So, in my opinion, what you said about revealing the truth is a joke. We don't know anything, and now you want us to go to the Myriad Origins Hall to find our own origin aura. Is this necessary? I don't think I can't enter Rank 9. For people like us, Rank 9 will not be a roadblock. Not to mention that not everyone inherited the Rank 9 powerhouse's legacy. Even if they did, a mere wisp of origin aura is nothing. Also, since old Jiang said this is one aspect, then what benefits does the other aspect bring to Star City? If it's to improve the overall strength of mankind. Forgive me for being blunt, but in my opinion, the 13 Paragon progenitors are not as good as the 2 ministers. From what I understand, the 13 progenitors have contributed immensely to mankind, but that is based on their own foundation, and not an overall improvement. If that's the case, what's the point of improving our strength? Even if we improve, I'm afraid we won't be able to reach the pinnacle and change everything." Jiang Yuanhua and the others felt a headache coming on. In the past, when they found those martial artists who were resurrected, some were low-ranked, some were middle-ranked, and some were not even martial artists at all. To these people, once they heard that there was hope of entering Rank 9, who could refuse? Nobody could refuse. In their eyes, Star City was a holy land. In fact, it was indeed a holy land. Based on this, no one in the past would have said this and still refused. Seeing that they did not speak, Fan Ping said again, "So, seniors, please tell us what you can. We're not children. We've fought in the catacombs many times. We know what we should know." Jiang Yuanhua took a deep breath and glanced at the people from the other families. Among the crowd, Liemo pondered for a moment and said, "There are some things that we really don't know. As for what you said about the benefits of Star City, I can tell you this. When you comprehend the origin path, if you really comprehend the origin path, then in the Hall of Myriad Origins, some of this origin path will overflow and be collected." Fan Ping's pupils shrank slightly. Wang Jinyang said coldly, "As far as I know, martial artists who walk out of their own origin path will not leak it. Once it is leaked and known by others, they may discover the weakness of your origin path. Because the path you walk, including the pinnacle, is actually incomplete. Otherwise, you won't be unable to walk the path ahead. Also, even if others don't say it, we're not completely ignorant. If a powerhouse who has comprehended the origin path dies, then the powerhouse who understands his origin path may be able to continue on his path. Star City allows martial artists resurrected to comprehend the origin here and leave behind origin chi. In my opinion, it's more like expanding the origin chi that was originally left behind. If I'm not mistaken, the origin chi left behind in the Hall of Myriad Origins is probably very little. Unless we comprehend it ourselves, outsiders probably won't be able to use it. Seniors, is this the case? Liemos said solemnly. That's right, but Stellar Sky City has its own needs. Everyone can rest assured that Stellar Sky City will not make any moves against you. This is something that the 13 ancestors have given a clear answer to. The Martial King is also aware of this. Between us and the martial artists resurrected, it's a win-win situation. It's not that Star City monopolizes the benefits. This point can also be proven by Masters Hui Hong and the others. Moreover, we will also provide you with a lot of resources. You've already reached rank 7, so you can comprehend it. Some of the martial artists resurrected in the past, some who aren't even martial artists, want to comprehend the origin path. At the very least, they need to externalize their mentality, which is the mentality-vitality-unity realm. Before this, all the cultivation resources were provided by Star City. Fang Ping chuckled. Oldly, we've already reached rank 7. Those resources are dispensable to us. Let's not talk about whether we left the origin path in the Hall of Myriad Origins or whether we didn't comprehend the origin path in our past lives. No matter what, we don't need this. Other than these, is there nothing else? Everyone was speechless for a moment. After a long time, Liemos said again. There is. If you can really comprehend the origin path, we will provide you with an opportunity, an incomparably huge opportunity. This opportunity, I still can't say what kind of opportunity it is, but if you get such an opportunity, it's not impossible to reach the summit. Seeing that Fang Ping and the others did not seem to believe him, Liemos said with a straight face. Not only I can guarantee this, Star City can guarantee this. Third brother, Commander Li, had such an opportunity before. Everyone, do you understand what I mean? Fang Ping's pupils contracted slightly. He said, Commander Li is a martial artist resurrected. No. Then, although he isn't, he had such an opportunity before. That's why he could enter the summit. Of course, third brother is also slightly related to martial artists resurrected. His mother is actually a martial artist resurrected. Fang Ping suddenly understood something. The bounded domain. Martial artists resurrected were indeed related to the bounded domain. Fang Ping gave them a deep look. After a while, he said slowly, What you're collecting may not be our origin path, nor is it the so-called origin path. What you need is the key. Perhaps, without reaching rank 9, or without comprehending the origin path, then the key can't be opened, or in other words, it can't be opened completely. Or perhaps, an individual's origin path is not enough, and requires the origin path of several or more people to be opened. Therefore, Star City's goal is actually not to comprehend our origin path. You want us to walk the path of our past lives, just so that we can duplicate this key. Opportunity. I think I've already guessed what kind of opportunity it is. Seniors, now I only want to verify one thing. Those seniors who died in the King battlefield, are they the ones from back then? Everyone was a little strange. After a long time, Su Haoran said, I don't know. You don't know? Indeed, we don't know. Because some things are difficult for us to judge clearly. But even if they're not, those seniors from 1,000 years ago, and those seniors in the King battlefield should be very closely related. Perhaps they are descendants, inheritors, or even survivors from back then. We have made some guesses about this, but because the people involved have already passed away, we can't verify anything. After Su Haoran finished speaking, Jian Yuanhua suddenly said, Whether you want to comprehend your own origin path or not, why don't you go to the Myriad Origins Hall and take a look first? Even if you don't comprehend it, once you enter the Myriad Origins Hall, if you can sense it, then you can also comprehend your past and present lives. Of course, you may not care about this, but at the critical moment, when you need to comprehend it, at least you will know that there is a chance for you to rapidly increase your strength here. Fan Ping raised his eyebrows slightly, then quickly smiled and said, Master Hui Hong, have you and the others already comprehended the origin path? The three of them glanced at him. Very soon, Hui Hong nodded lightly and said, The strength of the golden body is not enough, and our mentality has not passed the barrier. Otherwise, we would be rank 9 who have comprehended the origin path. Speaking of which, it is somewhat similar to your esteemed school's Dean Li. Fan Ping said again. Then, you mean that you want us to comprehend it? Not so. Although the past and present lives are not important, in the Myriad Origins Hall, some people come from the same sect, and some from the same clan. Actually, this time we came here, on one hand, to verify Startown's words, and on the other hand, to find an old friend. As Hui Hong said that, he smiled and said, I am also a modern martial artist, but now I have also understood the identity of my past life. In my past life, I had a younger brother who also left a few words in the Myriad Origins Hall, including a wisp of origin path. Therefore, if we really want to talk about the purpose, our purpose is to acknowledge relatives. Whether we are strangers in this life or not, at least we were relatives in our past life. There are not many opportunities like this in a person's life. Although we are martial artists, we are also human. Benefactor Fan should be able to understand our feelings. Understood. Fan Ping understood. He understood the intentions of these martial artists who had been resurrected. Acknowledging relatives. All right, perhaps there was this purpose. The key was that they were here to speak for themselves. Star Town had only benefited them, and had not harmed anyone. If they could comprehend their own origin path and advance at rank 8, once they reached rank 9, they would quickly become powerhouses, just like Wuquishan. Star Town was just using a few examples to lure them. Moreover, it seemed like they were speaking openly, and there was nothing they could not say, but there were some things that Star Town was still unwilling to reveal to them. Fan Ping tilted his head and glanced at Old Wang and the others, asking, What do you guys think? Wang Jinyang said slowly, We can go and take a look. Li Han Song, on the other hand, pondered for a moment and said in a muffled voice, There were 318 people back then. How many people left behind Origin Path? 32. Of course, some halls have completely obliterated everything, so there might not be only 32 people. Are there as many as 108 people? Of course not. Li Han Song did not know if he was disappointed or regretful. He glanced at Fan Ping, his gaze complicated. After a long time, he said, If that's the case, then we can go and take a look. Fan Ping did not change his expression, but he cursed in his heart. What was Ironhead doing? Did he doubt my words? Most importantly, I did not say much. You made up the story yourself. How can you blame me? Seeing that none of them had any objections, Fan Ping said, Old Su, then let's go and take a look. Maybe we can really find some relatives. Fan Ping chuckled. In his heart, however, he was wondering if this trip to Star City would benefit him in any way. After all this time, it was just a hall of myriad origins. Some of the information that he wanted to know still had no answers. It seemed like he still had to rely on Fatty. He would ask him to continue being the city's spy later and get him some information. Star Town definitely knew more than this. They must know more about this batch of martial artists who had been resurrected 1,000 years ago. Including the bounded domain. Chapter 646. In the hall, Su Haoran and the others walked out one step ahead. Fan Ping and the others were a step behind. These people were not stupid. Knowing that they had something to talk about, they did not greet them. Instead, they stayed away. When they were far away, Fan Ping set up mentality barriers, one after another. At this moment, Fang Ping opened his mouth and said, "Actually, the reason suppressing Star City sent us here is for the bounded domain. If my guess is correct, the powerhouses in the Hall of Myriad Origins are most likely the powerhouses from the Imperial Battleground. The Hall of Myriad Origins may not have been moved from Earth, but from the catacombs. The purpose of Star City's Paragon ancestor is probably to enter the bounded domain. You know what happened last time. If you are weak, you may not be able to enter. Even if you can, you may not get any benefits. The origin path is only available to rank 9. Rank 9, even in the ancient martial era, is not a weakling. It is normal for such powerhouses to have the key to the bounded domain. Even the bounded domain may be arranged by these people, or they participated in it. Their origin path is the best key, enough to open all or most of the areas." Wang Jinyang frowned. "Not necessarily. It may be to comprehend our origin and break through the realm. Will a normal rank 9 powerhouse open up their origin path comprehension to outsiders? No, it is impossible. And resurrected martial artists, in order to advance quickly, can only agree to Star City. Because if you do not agree, they will not let you comprehend, or, as long as you go, they will be able to collect these. So, although we say that the initiative is with us, in fact, it is still with Star City. Unless we do not comprehend." The two of them talked for a while. Qin Fengqing was speechless. "I say, why are you in such a hurry? It is hard to say whether you are rank 9 or not. Rank 8 resurrected, where can you go to comprehend the origin path? Since they want us to go take a look, then let's go take a look. Also, Fan Ping, this does not fit with whatever heavenly court you are talking about. According to what these people said during the sect era, the martial artists who participated in the big plan came from various sects and clans, not some heavenly court. I knew you were a big liar. I guessed it right." Fan Ping let out a humph and said lightly, "What do you know?" "I don't know, but Tai too is in trouble." Li Hansong's face was full of embarrassment as he said, "How do you know that there isn't a powerful organization above these sects? If there was no one to organize it, how did all those people get together? Also, when the few of us are together, I feel a sense of closeness. But the three just now didn't feel that at all. This means that we might not be in cahoots with them. Intimacy?" The corners of Qin Fengqing's mouth twitched. The others were the same. "Are you sure?" "You're talking nonsense. They had been in contact for a long time and often went on missions together. How could they not be close? Moreover, they are all from the same generation. If you were to stay with those old men and old women, would you be able to get close to them?" Although Wang Jinyang was speechless, he thought about it and said, "It's not impossible. In fact, even now, I am still wondering if we are really the same group of people as them." Seeing that Lao Wang supported him, Li Hansong immediately heaved a sigh of relief and said, "I knew it. Also, 1,000 years ago was only the era of sections. Maybe we are not martial artists from the era of sects, but from the mythological era? Then how do you explain the fact that the bounded boundaries are related to them?" Qin Fengqing was determined to refute Li Hansong today. This guy was almost turning into an idiot. The key point was that this guy called him servant every day. He had to give him a good beating so that he would believe this big hoodwinker. Li Hansong seemed to have thought of something and humphed. "That's hard to say. Maybe the bounded boundaries existed during the mythological era. But after that, something happened to us and we were occupied by those people. Actually, both of us had no contact at all and didn't know each other because we were not from the same generation. These resurrected martial artists might be our servants. Servants my ass." Qin Fengqing could not help but curse. He said angrily, "Stop talking nonsense," Li Hansong said with a serious face. "Really, I think it's very possible. Think about it. We left the mansions behind, but we died in battle. Before we left, we had to leave some people to look after the house, right? But these people saw that the master did not return and died, so they occupied the master's mansions. There's nothing wrong with that, right? As for what happened after that, it's hard to guess. What was their big plan? Maybe after we died in battle, there was no one to protect and escort them. They had no choice but to gather together and fight against the catacombs. Anyway, there are many possibilities. Fang Ping glanced at him. Iron Head was a real bull. You should be called Iron Bull. I didn't think so much, and you've already imagined everything? Iron Head had just finished speaking when Yao Qingjun also said in a low voice, Han Sung's speculation can't be said to be complete nonsense. Everyone, this place might not even have the path of origin of a desperate realm. In fact, the possibility is very high. But how much imperishable matter does Fang Ping have? Do you think that Fang Ping is really related to the Hall of Myriad Origins? Also, the few of us have consumed a lot of imperishable matter. We might not be at the absolute peak, but there should be rank 9. If, and I'm saying if, later, we don't sense the aura of our origin, does it mean that we are not among this group of people? I don't think that after consuming so much imperishable matter, we are still rank 7 or 8 martial artists. Also, have you guys forgotten your divine weapons? Is that something a rank 7 or 8 martial artist can have? I also have the feeling that we are not the same group of people now. There's one more thing, have you guys noticed? What? The 3 resurrected martial artists just now. Yao Qingjun hesitated for a moment before saying, the feeling that they gave me was not strong. Or rather, there was nothing outstanding about them. Their strength might be the weakest among rank 8. Although they have understood the origin of their past lives, it means that they were also rank 9 powerhouses in their past lives. But these 3, the feeling that they gave me was not as strong as the rank 8 in the modern times. And we, among the same rank, have always been the strongest. Of course, when we reach rank 8, maybe some of our advantages will be gone, but I think that when I reach rank 8, I should be stronger than them. Li Han Song and Wang Jinyang nodded at the same time. Therefore, in the next moment, the 3 of them came to a conclusion at the same time. We are not the same group of people. Fang Ping was exhausted. What should I say? Qin Fengqing was also at a loss. What you guys said makes sense, but... Qin Fengqing quickly put on a long face and said, doesn't that mean that we won't get any benefits from coming here this time? What was the purpose of coming to Star City? To improve their strength. Now that they were here, there were no benefits at all, so what was the point of coming here? No, they could challenge some people later, maybe they could get some benefits. Fan Ping did not speak, but Wang Jinyang raised his eyebrows slightly, looked at Fan Ping and said, Fan Ping, you can help us, not for the so-called origin, but in the hope of guiding more imperishable matter to hone ourselves. You also know that we are different from you, we can't actively control the appearance of imperishable matter. We can only hurt ourselves continuously, and use the imperishable matter to recover. After recovering from injuries, the imperishable matter will disappear automatically. That's why every time we use up the imperishable matter, most of it is used to recover from injuries. The real benefits we get are just some additional benefits after the imperishable matter is used to heal our injuries. If this goes on, the consumption will be too great, the loss will outweigh the gain. If the origin in the Hall of Myriad Origins can help us guide the imperishable matter, then it will be easier. As soon as he said this, their eyes lit up. Fan Ping could change their auras. Fan Ping, on the other hand, frowned and said, that? Only rank 9 have the origin. I can't do that, and I can't do it. Some rank 7 can, though. Unless rank 7 can also guide it, otherwise there is no other way. There is another way, and that is to encounter a real rank 9 powerhouse reincarnated martial artist. If the other party's strength does not surpass mine, then I can also give it a try. But now, without such a comparison, there is no other way. Qin Fengqing swallowed and said, can't you weaken the rank 9 aura a little and turn it into a rank 7? Fan Ping shook his head and said, a rank 9 is a rank 9. Weakened, it is still a rank 9 in essence. I said only if I become another person after reincarnation, and I have his aura, then I can do it. Qin Fengqing suddenly said. Then, you can change anyone? As long as their strength does not surpass yours. But back then, didn't you say that you only collected Iron Head and the other's life origin, and then have a bloodline connection with me? Fan Ping said indifferently. Nonsense. I am also collecting the other party's life origin now. Can I change a person I have never seen before? Your life origin, I have had it since I was weak. I didn't collect it later. Now that my strength is strong, then I can continue to collect and then change. The few of them looked at him. Even Li Hansong could not help but say in a low voice, Fan Ping, you, tell me the truth. Are you? Fan Ping was speechless. After a while he said, I don't know. I haven't resurrected much. How would I know the specific situation? I just have a little impression. Whether it's real or not, who knows? Maybe that little memory is wrong, maybe it's my own imagination. It's not impossible. Iron Head, let me tell you, don't take it seriously. I, Fan Ping, am not someone who talks nonsense. Some things, I will only tell you if I have some impression. If I don't, then I can only give a rough idea and talk about my own guesses. Li Hansong suddenly gritted his teeth and said, Anyway, I believe you. What you said is more reliable than what Star City said. What Star City said is the unreliable one. Later, I will ask around about the situation of these people's life gates and whether there are any divine weapons hidden inside. If there aren't, then it means that everyone has no relationship at all. Also, about the bounded zones, do you guys think we should ask around? From what I can see, they can't enter. Maybe they can enter after reaching rank 9, but I was just rank 6 at that time. At this point, Li Hansong mumbled. That's not even my mansion. I, a rank 6 martial artist, can bring people in. This means that my authority is higher than these rank 8 and rank 9 martial artists. Why? Because the owner of the bounded zones and I are really familiar, acquainted, friends equal. But they are not. They only occupied that place in the later stages, or are they servants? Do I make sense? Fan Ping said with a serious look. It makes sense. Iron Head, I have said everything I can. I just want to use the identity of the resurrected martial artists to conceal the system. I have denied everything else. Now, these are all your own imagination. In the future, it really has nothing to do with me. As Fan Ping said that, he suddenly thought of something. He frowned and said, No matter what, these resurrected martial artists and the bounded zones are inseparable. Old Wang, do you still have the token with you? Yes. Give it to me. Wang Jinyang did not say much. He fished out a token from his body and gave it to Fan Ping. Fan Ping took it in his hand and observed it for a while. Very quickly he said in a low voice, Since these people are related to the bounded zones, then I will try later and see if I can make the token trigger some reaction. If it works, then it means that we can find out the identity of these people. This also means that maybe we can find the corresponding bounded zones. Fan Ping's eyes flickered. Then we can enter the bounded zones. This trip is not in vain. Yao Qingjun said hesitantly. Are you sure you can trigger a reaction? If it works, you mentioned earlier that the government still has some tokens that they haven't found the corresponding places. Can't we just come to Star Town and try? Nonsense. Some bounded zones are destroyed. The token might belong to those bounded zones. Even if some are not destroyed, even if they can sense where the token belongs to, without the appearance of the resurrected martial artists in this place, how can they go to the bounded zones? You have also seen the plan to open Star Town's door. It requires the combination of the token and the aura. They are different from me. They can only bring the token with them. Commander Li was able to go in back then. Maybe his mother is a resurrected martial artist from that bounded zones. Do you think my speculation is correct? Makes sense. Li Hansong nodded, expressing his agreement. At this moment, they had 2 tokens in their hands. They should correspond to 2 bounded zones. If they triggered some reaction here, it meant that these martial artists had not been resurrected yet, or they were completely dead. The others could not do anything. Fang Ping had collected the aura. Even if he could not simulate it now, he could in the future. When that time came, he could bring the token into the bounded zones. At this point, Li Hansong said again, "In that case, we still have to continue to collect more information about the bounded zones. Otherwise, it's hard to be sure." Fang Ping looked at Qin Fengqing and said, "When we get back, let Fatty do some work. If we can't get this information, let Fatty do it." Qin Fengqing was speechless. "Fatty won't be beaten to death, will he?" Fang Ping rubbed his chin and said in a low voice, "The possibility of being beaten to death is not high. Getting beaten up is a must. Tell Fatty that if he gets beaten up, I will give him some imperishable substance to temper his body. Otherwise, with his situation, it will be difficult for him to achieve mentality-vitality fusion. It will be even more difficult for rank 7. Give him some imperishable substance. Maybe he can enter rank 7, give it to me." "Why?" Qin Fengqing was speechless. He said gloomily, "Am I not your blood relative? To your relatives. Get lost." Qin Fengqing was even more gloomy. "You said it yourself. I can't admit it. Now that I'm asking for benefits, you don't want to admit it." As they were talking, Wang Jinyoung said, "Let's go. Don't let those seniors wait too long. Moreover, this is not the place to talk." This was Star City. Rank 9s could not pass through the mentality barrier directly to eavesdrop. Otherwise, Fang Ping would definitely find out. However, it was hard to say for Paragon. If they talked too much, if there was a Paragon in the city now and they could not sense it, it would not be a good thing if they were eavesdropped. Everyone did not delay any further. Soon they left the hall. Su Haoran and the rest did not say anything about their delay until now. While leading everyone to the back of the mountain, he said, "Since you're here, if you have anything else you want to ask, know, or can say, we will tell you." Li Hansong asked, "How many resurrected martial artists are there here in total?" 36. "Are there many high ranks?" "Not many, 12. Li Hansong frowned slightly. Wang Jinyoung too. After thinking for a while, Wang Jinyoung said, "The ages of the resurrected martial artist seniors. The youngest is 50 years old." Everyone looked at each other. What kind of joke was this? The youngest resurrected martial artist was 50 years old. He had not even reached rank 7. Previously, Senior Su seemed to have mentioned that some of them had returned to the sect. "What do you mean by this? Some of the sects today were passed down from thousands of years ago. Some of the resurrected martial artists understood their past life's identity and where they came from. No matter what happened in this life, they were still indebted to the legacy. Some 1,000-year-old sects have fallen. They don't even have middle-ranked martial artists. Therefore, these people chose to return to the sect. They also have the intention to strengthen the sect. The cycle of karma is considered to be returning a favor from the past life." Fang Ping glanced at Hui Hong and the other two. The female Taoist said calmly, "We also have a sect, but it's already extinct. Some of the sects in the past are mostly extinct. In this life, we came to Star City a long time ago. That's why we settled here. Star City has also given us the back of the mountain. We're staying here so we don't have to wander around." Fang Ping smiled. "Have you entered the catacombs, Senior?" "Yes, I have," the female Taoist said. "However, that was only after achieving mentality-vitality unity and comprehending their own origin. Only then did they go to the catacombs. Before that, we were also worried that if we died, no one would comprehend origin anymore. That's why we never went to the catacombs." Fang Ping laughed. "Star City was probably afraid that if they died, they would not be able to collect origin. However, as Liemo and the rest said, it was mutually beneficial. It was not easy for Star City to nurture them all the way to mentality-vitality unity. At this time, they comprehended origin and left behind some origin chi. This was considered a price paid in exchange for those resources. These people themselves knew that Star City probably did not hide anything from them. Everyone knew it in their hearts. It was just a matter of whether they were willing or not. If Fang Ping was still rank 1 and heard that someone was sponsoring him with resources to cultivate all the way to mentality vitality unity, as long as they left behind some origin chi when they comprehended origin, Fang Ping would probably do it. What a joke. I'm only rank 1. How would I know if I can reach rank 9 in the future, to the peak? The most important thing is to seize the opportunity now. There were too many people who were willing to pay a price in the future in exchange for becoming stronger quickly now. Only Fang Ping and the rest had reached rank 7 and were extremely confident about their future. Otherwise, they would not even consider it. Along the way, everyone asked a lot of questions. This included some questions about the boundaries. Some questions were answered, some were not. Walking along the bluestone path, they went all the way to the depths, passing through a few bridges. Soon, the bluestone path came to an end. In front of the path was a lush mountain ridge. The Hall of Myriad Origins is in the valley. The resurrected martial artists also live there. Su Haran said, then smiled and said, "Let's use the flight step and go there." Everyone used the flight step and quickly flew toward the mountain ridge not far away. Before they arrived, Fang Ping heard the sound of a waterfall hitting the water surface. He also heard human voices. This place had a better environment than Star City. It was more elegant. It was no wonder that many of these resurrected martial artists were unwilling to leave. The energy here was also extremely rich. Star City treated these people quite well. After flying for a while, Fang Ping had a clear view of the situation below. In a huge and flat valley, a magnificent basilica stood in the middle. Around the basilica, there were some residences. There were stone houses and bamboo houses. Some people could be seen walking around the basilica. There were even children. Fang Ping revealed a strange expression. Beside him, the scholarly man chuckled and said, "Resurrected martial artists are also people. You guys are too. You should also understand that we are not much different from other people. We are not the ancient people that you think we are. Therefore, there will be people who marry and have children. Some people will travel to the outside world. When they meet someone they can spend a lifetime with, they will also bring them back to start a family. We will also go to the city to communicate. When we meet someone suitable in Star City, we will also get together." Fang Ping thought for a while and said, "Jiang Chao mentioned before that he has never seen you guys. That's normal." The scholarly man smiled and said, "We don't have many people. The back mountain is also their forbidden area. If we go into the city, they might not pay attention to us. After all, there are 5,000 to 6,000 people in the city. They can't possibly know everyone. We also won't say that we are resurrected martial artists after entering the city. There is no need for that. Actually, it has only been these few years. In the past, there were actually fewer people who knew of our existence." Beside him, Lian Mo opened his mouth and said, "In the past, I was not very clear. I only knew that the back mountain is a forbidden area. This is the rules set by the old ancestors. As for now," Lian Mo glanced at Fang Ping and the others. After a while, he said, "It has something to do with you guys. The few of you have caused too much commotion in the outside world. Everyone knows about you and your uniqueness. Actually, we don't publicize the resurrected martial artists because we are afraid of causing unnecessary trouble. Not every resurrected martial artist is willing to be different from others. If we don't say it, then we can continue living as a normal person. But if we say it, then we might be criticized." Fang Ping understood and said, "What's wrong with that? Whether I am resurrected or not, I have overcome this hurdle myself. I don't care how outsiders criticize me." Fang Ping said it calmly because he was not a resurrected martial artist. If he was, then he might not be so calm. Also, there were some things that could not be said. For example, could he say that he had transmigrated from another world? He could not say it. Therefore, in the past, the existence of resurrected martial artists was a secret. This was very normal. Even now, there were not many people who knew about Fang Ping and the others. Don't look like everyone knew. In reality, only MC Mayu knew a little more, and some grandmasters had some guesses. As for the others, they knew nothing. However, because of their existence, resurrected martial artists were no longer a big secret. Now more and more people knew about it. As they spoke, everyone landed on the ground. Soon, a child laughed and said, "Grandpa, where did you go? I want to fly too." Fang Ping did not react. Beside him, Monk Huihong suddenly hugged the child and said with a smile, "Grandpa went to the city. Next time, I'll bring you flying." Fang Ping was dumbfounded. "Weren't you a monk?" That was not right. It was normal for monks to marry and have children. However, these few were like otherworldly masters at the beginning. In Fang Ping's opinion, they should be the kind of pure cultivators who did not care about the secular world. But now, the style was not right. Seeing the strange look on Fang Ping and the others' faces, Scholar Ziho laughed and said, "Don't look at us. I said we are also human. The reason why we dress like this is not because we are real monks, Taoists, or people of Confucianism." Scholar Ziho thought for a while. His expression was slightly solemn. "Everyone, there is something I still have to remind you. Understanding your own origin, although it does not carry your memories, some habits, perhaps the habits of your previous life, will gradually make you produce a kind of fusion. For example, I was the sect leader of the South Mountain sect in my previous life. Whether I was a person of Confucianism or not, I'm not sure. But ever since I understood the origin, I have a vague feeling that I should dress like this because I am a Confucian. The two of them are the same. Of course, these effects are not too big. It is also to let us understand these origins more smoothly and produce a greater fusion. However, we still have to be careful to avoid being completely immersed in it. Back then, we did not have much experience and our willpower was not strong enough. That was why we fell into it. Now, these habits are hard to change in a short period of time." Fang Ping was speechless. So, the three of them were all imposters. He really thought that the three of them were powerhouses of Confucianism, Buddhism, and Taoism. Fang Ping said it was in this life. Now it seemed that it was not the case. They were just a little affected. However, Fang Ping was still a little vigilant. This kind of influence was still very scary. It might change a person's personality. Fang Ping was fine, but old Wang and the others had to be careful. If their identity before resurrection was a devil, and they were allowed to understand their previous life's origin, would there not be a huge change? As everyone landed, some martial artists nearby also rushed over. Someone laughed from afar and said, "A newcomer? There hasn't been newcomers for a long time. I thought it was just us. Now it seems that there are still people resurrected. Their strength is very strong, stronger than us. Did they enter the Grand Master realm?" While they were talking, 7 or 8 men and women rushed over. There were high ranks and middle ranks. These people sized up Fang Ping and the others. A woman said, "I have a sister that I haven't found yet." These few. Fang Ping and the others looked at Qin Fengqing in unison. "Her sister is you. It has nothing to do with us. Who asked you to pretend to be a resurrected martial artist?" Qin Fengqing's face darkened. "You are the sister. Your whole family are sisters. This middle-aged woman is too despicable. Can't she see that we are a group of men? Why are you asking about a sister?" Unexpectedly, Su Haoren laughed and said, "Some seniors, cough cough, this kind of situation really happens. Resurrection doesn't necessarily mean that they are male in their previous life and male in this life." The few of them were speechless. They looked at each other. Fang Ping looked at old Wang and the others. After a long time, he said vaguely, "I remember that the god of war is a female." Wang Jinyang's face was livid. "If you dare to talk nonsense again, I will kill you right now." Chapter 647. Jokes aside, Fan Ping and the others quickly walked toward the grand hall under everyone's anticipation. Before entering the hall, just as they reached the hall's entrance, the hall suddenly trembled slightly. At this moment, Yao Qingjuan's mentality fluctuated violently. What's going on? Su Haoran was shocked. Jian Yuanhua and the others were also shocked. Even if he was a resurrected martial artist, he should not have caused the origin to tremble at the entrance before entering the hall. Li Hansong was completely dumbfounded. Did I guess wrongly? We are the same group of people. Old Yao had not even entered the door, and he actually caused such a huge reaction. At this moment, the huge bronze hall trembled violently. Yao Qingjuan's mentality also began to fluctuate continuously, his face revealing a repressed expression, as if he was holding back something. To everyone's surprise, he shook his head gently and said, "It's nothing, it's just. Yao Qingjuan hesitated again and again, but did not speak again. This time, Su Haoran could not help but ask hurriedly, "Vice-Chancellor Yao sensed his own origin?" I don't think so." Yao Qingjuan hesitated again, seeing that everyone in Stellar Sky City did not believe him. Seeing this, Yao Qingjuan pondered for a moment, but still said softly, "I feel, this hall is mine." Ah? Everyone was dumbfounded. At this moment, Qin Fengqing really admired him from the bottom of his heart. F***ck, old Yao did not reveal himself at all, but he was really amazing. They were eyeing the origin, but old Yao actually wanted to take the entire hall away. Yao Qingjuan said with a serious face, "This hall might be mine, whether you believe it or not." As he said that, Yao Qingjuan suddenly looked at the sealed hall's entrance, which was a pair of incomparably huge bronze doors. Yao Qingjuan took a look, and suddenly the doors rumbled. In the next moment, the doors opened. Liu Mo and the others were all stunned. This Hall of Myriad Origins really belongs to him? This hall can only be opened by rank 9. How did he open it? Hall of Myriad Origins belongs to Yao Qingjuan. Everyone was stunned. This was even more shocking than having their origin. The Hall of Myriad Origins was just too special. Logically speaking, it was actually very difficult to preserve a martial artist's origin. At the very least, one had to be in a desperate situation to be able to preserve one's origin energy. For rank 9 martial artists below the paragon level, even if they had comprehended the Tao of origin, their origin would dissipate when they died. For example, the Rose City Lord had retained her origin for a period of time, but that was because it had not dissipated in time. However, a special hall like the Myriad Origins Hall had done it. Not only did it preserve the 9th stage origin, but it also preserved the 7th and 8th stage life origin, which hadn't dissipated even after thousands of years. Su Haoran murmured. Back then, the elder ancestor said that even he couldn't refine this hall. It could be a relic left behind by an ancient martial artist. Jian Yuanhua's expression was strange as he said softly, "Ancient martial artists are not martial artists from the era of sex, but martial artists from the era of ancient martial arts. The Myriad Origins Hall belongs to Yao Qingjuan." At this time, Yao Qingjuan was also having a headache and was at a loss. Beside him, Fang Ping's eyes flickered. Very quickly he smiled and said, "Looks like old Yao might have been everyone's leader 1,000 years ago. Old Yao, don't tell me you didn't even preserve your own origin when you refined this thing?" At this moment, Fang Ping suddenly realized the problem. If everyone was not the same group of people, would it cause some additional trouble? At this moment, Fang Ping's eyes flickered slightly, and he patted Qin Fengqing. Qin Fengqing was stunned for a moment. Very quickly he shook his head and said, I think I can sense my life origin. It's in the hall." Jian Yuanhua and the others looked at Qin Fengqing. Qin Fengqing said with a determined expression, "Yes, I can sense my life origin aura. It doesn't seem to be the martial path of origin. In that case, I was actually not a rank 9 in my past life." Su Haoran could not help but ask, "Life origin, Standing outside the Myriad Origins Hall, you can't sense it, right? The halls inside are all sealed. Only when you get close to the hall and find the hall that belongs to you can you trigger some reaction from the hall. Those halls are all sealed. Forget about rank 7 or 8 martial artists resurrecting, even a rank 9 won't be able to sense it from so far away. Actually, we haven't opened the hall before. If you're not the person, you can't enter. Instructor Qin, you didn't sense it wrong, did you? Everyone was talking at once. At this moment, all of them were at a loss. Why was it completely different from before this time? Qin Fengqing said with certainty. I really sensed it. Once we go in, we should be able to find the place. Jiang Yuanhua and the others were at a loss at this moment. For a moment, the few rank 9s were at a loss. This time, these fellows had brought them too many surprises. Also, was Qin Fengqing a martial artist resurrected? To be honest, before this, everyone felt that he did not seem like it. At this moment, Yao Qingjuan's mentality touched Fan Ping lightly. Fan Ping's eyes moved. He took a step forward without batting an eyelid. Wang Jinyang and the others also looked at him. Fan Ping took a step forward, looked at the hall door that was wide open, smiled and said, Let's go in and take a look. I can't wait. After saying that, Fan Ping took a step inside. As soon as he entered, Old Wang and the others moved extremely quickly, entering quickly. Jiang Yuanhua and the others were just about to follow. Boom! The door was closed. Su Haoran could not hold it in. He suddenly scolded. Little bastard, open the door! Jiang Yuanhua was also stunned. He murmured, The Hall of Myriad Origins has been robbed. Lian Mo sighed and said, Yao Qingjun said this is his. I thought it might be robbed. The next moment, they looked at each other. Soon, Jiang Yuanhua went forward to push the door, but the door did not budge. This time, Wei Yong panicked and shouted, The Hall of Myriad Origins is very important. Even if it's their own, we can't give it to them. Quick, go to Mount Imperial Sea and invite the Elder Ancestor. Having said that, he turned to Lian Mo and shouted, Go and invite the Li family head. We don't know what they will do in the Hall of Myriad Origins. Hurry! Okay, I'll ask Big Brother to come out of seclusion immediately. Jiang Feng, go and invite the Jiang family head. All the family heads come here quickly. Xin Yu, go to Mount Imperial Sea and find the Elder Ancestor. Invite one back quickly. Inform Commander Li. Then, King Wu, do you want to? Someone asked. Wei Yong looked helpless. Jiang Yuanhua sighed and said, Invite him back too. The Hall of Myriad Origins has become Yao Qingjuan's. Should I silence him? If I can't kill him, then I have to make things clear. This matter cannot be left unsettled. Star City will never give away the Hall of Myriad Origins. There are still many resurrected martial artists who haven't sensed their origin. If the Hall of Myriad Origins is lost... He didn't want to speak anymore. Star City's investment in the resurrected martial artists all these years would all go down the drain. Not only that, even these resurrected martial artists might be lost. Inviting a wolf into the house. At this moment, Jiang Yuanhua suddenly cursed. F***ck me, who the F***ck invited these brats to Star City? Su Haoran's face was ashen. He snorted and said, I invited them. Old Wei is also here. Who are you scolding? Jiang Yuanhua said angrily. These brats, wherever they go, they cause trouble. Once they see something good, they sweep it all away. What were you thinking, inviting them to Star City? Haven't you been cheated enough? 5 divine weapons were lost, and Lian Mo, that good for nothing, still had to thank him. Over at the King battlefield, Fatty was cheated and thanked him every day, but he didn't get any benefits. But you guys actually invited him to our house as a guest, you... Hindsight. Su Haoran flew into a rage out of humiliation and scolded. When I invited you, didn't you agree? Patriarchs, please calm down, scram! If the Hall of Myriad Origins is really lost, or the origin inside is destroyed, Return the resources I invested. The patriarchs present were cursing at this moment, so angry that they wanted to vomit blood. Right under their noses, these bastards had locked them out. As soon as Yao Qingjun entered, the door closed, and they couldn't even push it open. If someone said that it wasn't Yao Qingjun, they wouldn't believe it even if they were beaten to death. The rest of the people ran in all directions, looking for the clan head, looking for the clan head, looking for the royal sea mountain. There were also people going outside, preparing to inform the two apex martial artists outside. They made a lot of noise, and the resurrected martial artists were also stunned. After a long time, someone murmured, "The Hall of Myriad Origins Master is here." The Hall of Myriad Origins was built by a powerhouse. What relationship do we have with the Hall of Myriad Origins Master? Our life origin and martial origin are stored in the Hall of Myriad Origins. At least we have absolute trust in the Hall of Myriad Origins Master, to be able to make hundreds of high ranks trust him so much. At this moment, everyone suddenly remembered what Fang Ping said just now. 1,000 years ago, Old Zhao might have been everyone's leader. Other than the leader, who could make everyone trust so much that they would protect the origin inside. Their origin inside was very weak now, but it might not be the same 1,000 years ago. In 1,000 years, a lot of everyone's origin had dissipated. Back then, it might have been enough for the Hall of Myriad Origins Master to comprehend their Tao of origin. For a moment, the resurrected martial artists present had complicated looks in their eyes. As for Jiang Yuanhua and the others who were jumping in rage, no one cared about it now. At the same time, Ministry of Education. Zhang Tao hung up the phone, his head splitting. He could not help but curse. This? What the hell is this? These bastards, can't they just stop? In the past, that bastard Fang Ping stirred up trouble, now even Yao Qingjun. Old Zhang was so angry that he was about to vomit blood. He thought that these bastards might not be able to comprehend the origin if they went to Stellar Sky City, and these guys might not necessarily comprehend it either. Even if they could not, there were still some benefits for them to go to the Hall of Myriad Origins. Some of the origin in the Hall of Myriad Origins was overflowing. In fact, even if they did not comprehend it, it was still beneficial for high-ranked powerhouses as they could comprehend some martial arts paths. At least they would know how to go. Unlike Wu Quishan, who had reached rank 8 and still had no clue. Of course, the origin that overflowed in the Hall of Myriad Origins was not much. Unless one was talented, otherwise there would not be much gain. In any case, this was still a path. This was old Zheng's idea. In addition, Fang Ping and the others were always stirring up trouble. He thought that now that they were planning for the Forbidden Catacombs, it would be a good thing to let them go to Stellar Sky City to kill some time. Who knew, they were only going now. They were going to rob the Hall of Myriad Origins right after. The next moment, Li Jin's voice rang in Zhang Tao's ears. At this time, Li Jin's tone was also very gloomy. Zhang Tao, these kids, you better watch over them. The Hall of Myriad Origins. Stellar Sky City will not give up. I know, Zhang Tao said angrily. Did I ask them to rob it? It's hard to say. Li Jin, what do you mean? You can't take your eyes off the good stuff. You've been eyeing the Hall of Myriad Origins. Get lost! Do I care about that bit of origin? I didn't instigate it. Zhang Tao cursed. After he was done, he said, Besides, that's Stellar Sky City. There are several rank 9s there. How can they rob it? The people in Stellar Sky City didn't tell me the truth. Now that something has happened, they're looking for me. Tell me, what's going on? Li Jin was stunned. After a moment, he coughed softly and said, When Yao Qingjun enters the Hall of Myriad Origins, say that it belongs to him. Close the door and don't let anyone else in. Zhang Tao was stunned at first, then his eyes lit up. He suddenly shouted, What's wrong with returning it to its owner? The Hall of Myriad Origins belongs to Yao Qingjun. Since it belongs to him, of course, we should return it to him. I knew you were going to say that. Li Jun was flustered and exasperated. He said angrily, "Don't even think about it. Do you really want to make the elders fall out with you? Also, the Hall of Myriad Origins belongs to Yao Qingjun. That's the real problem. You've seen the Hall of Myriad Origins. Is it something that anyone can refine? Yao Qingjun can refine it. Who is he? How would I know? You don't know? Of course not." Li Jun was also having a headache. He said in distress, "These guys keep causing trouble. Zhang Tao, think of a way to deal with it. What are you waiting for? Let's go." At this moment, Zhang Tao had also left the office. As he flew into the air, he replied, "I can't deal with it. If you're so capable, bring them to the military department. If they don't mess things up in a month, these guys will be under your control in the future." "I don't want it." "What are you talking about? These high-ranked combatants have a lot of tricks up their sleeves. If you really send them to the military department, I said I don't want it. If you bring it up again, no martial arts university students should come to the military department. Take it or leave it. The expansion of the Wuhan military is not a bad idea. Without martial arts university students, the military department's strength will be reduced by more than 30%. If it weren't for the fact that you like to be in the limelight and create hype, why would these people think that you're stronger than me?" "Are you saying that I'm creating hype? Isn't that so?" Zhang Tao questioned. "Have you killed a paragon before?" "I don't think so." "You've defeated a paragon before. Haven't I? What right do you have to say that you're stronger than me? What right do you have to rank ahead of me?" "Martial King, Martial King. I, Zhang Tao, am known for my martial arts. Is that something you can compare to?" "Shut up." "Who are you telling to shut up?" "You." "Li Jun, are you trying to spar with me?" "Shut up." "Li Jun, don't go overboard. I've been in a bad mood lately, mother ****. Li Jun cursed. Martial arts universities were full of bastards. Moreover, this trend was spread by that bastard Zhang Tao. "Who are you scolding?" "You." "Li Jun, don't think that you can do whatever you want just because you're from the same clan as the subduing Heavenly King. If we really fight, I won't have a problem fighting both of you. Zhang Tao, you're the one who said that. Don't change your words when you get to Star Town." "So what if I said it?" The two desperation powerhouses were now cursing at each other from hundreds of miles away. Zhang Tao was extremely arrogant, but in his heart he was thinking, "Am I really a match for these two?" As he thought about it, Zhang Tao cursed under his breath. What was there to be afraid of? The subduing Heavenly King had been guarding Mount Royal Sea and could not come out. Others could come out and rest, but he could not. If he came out, the restricted area would have one less threat. Since he could not come out, why should he be afraid of Li Jun? The Netherworld King was stronger than the Martial King? Who said that? As for the Martial Arts Association, that old brat Li Jun must have gone to threaten them. Otherwise, why would they be ranked like this? That brat Fong Ping kept saying that he wanted to beat up the two presidents of the Martial Arts Association. This bastard was all talk and no action. Go and beat him up. "I can't do it myself." "If you go and beat him up, what can they do to you?" As he thought about it, he could not help but curse in a low voice. The trouble these brats caused was not over yet. But it might not be trouble. The Hall of Myriad Origins belongs to Yao Qingjun. What belongs to Yao Qingjun belongs to martial arts universities. What belongs to martial arts universities is mine. Do you think it's that easy to take away something that belongs to me, a martial king? Zhang Tao had made up his mind. Good news. Great news. He had to hurry over. He did not want that old brat Li Jun to beat him to it and get them out. It was good as it was now. After thinking about this, Zhang Tao's speed soared. He crashed through the cracks in the void. From afar, Li Jun saw this and cursed again. He could not hold it in any more. How could he do this? He knew exactly what this old thing wanted to do. He was going to do something big. Despicable. I'm ashamed to be associated with you. In the eyes of outsiders, the mysterious, powerful, indifferent, and callous Commander Li almost vomited blood in anger. In the past, martial arts universities were good. Ever since that old thing Zhang Tao took over, there were not many good people. Let's not talk about the two paragons' curses. In the Hall of Myriad Origins, Fan Ping and the others entered quickly. Old Yao closed the door immediately. The moment the door closed, they looked at each other. Wang Jinyang said dryly, Isn't this a little inappropriate? Yao Qingjun said nothing. Fan Ping said innocently, Old Yao asked me to do it. When Yao Qingjun heard this, he glanced at him and said lightly, I'm just telling you that I can control the Hall of Myriad Origins a little. How would I know what you meant? You hit me with your mentality. I'm not Qin Feng Qin, I didn't understand. Of course, I thought you were going to do something big. Qin Feng Qin said innocently. What did he mean? Fine, forget it. The next moment, Qin Feng Qin grinned wildly. I always thought that Fang Ping was the biggest bandit leader. I didn't expect Old Yao to be so secretive. You're the one. Compared to you, Fang Ping is nothing. This guy came to Star City and is as timid as a mouse. Only you would dare to rob Star City. Yao Changjun corrected him. This Hall of Myriad Origins is really mine. After saying that, he added, That's why I didn't rob it. Yao Qingjun corrected him again. I'm not like Fang Ping, who gets jealous when he sees something good. This is really mine. When he said that, Fang Ping remembered. He asked curiously, Old Yao, why did you refine this hall out of nowhere? How would I know? Yao Qingjun was speechless. Nonsense. You're asking me about this? Should I ask myself? God knows how many years ago. Who knows why I refined this thing? Li Hansong was still very confused. He asked curiously, This hall belongs to Old Yao. Is Old Yao one of the martial artists resurrected? If Old Yao is, what about us? Are we the leaders of this group of people? Fan Ping said that they are related to the battle and the Imperial battleground. Could it be that there are really ruins left behind by our battle in the depths? Honestly, I'm confused now too. But one thing is for sure. We're definitely not small soldiers. Otherwise, Old Yao wouldn't have refined such a hall. A few rank 9s can't even enter. I say, you guys still have the mood to discuss this now? Qin Feng Qin was a little speechless. He said gloomily, Please pay attention to the situation. Every time we're in a dangerous situation, aren't you afraid that others will come in after discussing this? The most important thing now is to see if there are any benefits. Old Yao, you're the master of the hall? Those halls are still under your control. Yao Qingjun swept his gaze across the hall. He said slowly, I said, I can only control a part of it. What do you mean? It means exactly what it says. I can only control the opening and closing of the door. Everyone was stunned. Then, why did we lock them outside? The next moment, Li Hansong slapped Yao Qingjun. He said gloomily, Then why did we come in? I thought you could control all the halls and prepare to seize the origin. That's why I barged in. In the end, it wasn't like that. Old Yao, you said that I've been beaten silly? I think you're the one who has. Yao Qingjun's expression darkened. He said coldly, I said I only told Fang Ping that I can control a part of it. I didn't let you guys in. Fang Ping retorted, You shut up so easily. I thought that was what you were thinking. What does it have to do with me? Shut up, all of you. At this moment, Old Wang finally displayed the style of a big brother. He bellowed, interrupting everyone. These bastards! He felt that he would go crazy sooner or later after being associated with these bastards. They did not have any ulterior motives. Why did they lock them outside? That was not right. When Fang Ping signaled for him to come in, why did he run in so naturally? I was led astray. At this moment, Wang Jinyang's heart was full of sorrow. I wasn't like this in the beginning. The original me, the me 2 years ago, even if I saw something good, I would understand one thing: a gentleman would obtain wealth in a proper way. That Fong Ping guy was still an aspiring martial artist. He killed a rank 2. Did I rob him? I don't think so. Although I took the majority, I still left some for him, didn't I? But now, I was bewitched by him. I came in without thinking and even locked them outside. Wang Jinyang sighed in his heart. He comforted himself. This is old Zhao's territory. It's normal for us to not let outsiders in when we're home. How can you let outsiders enter your house? They didn't even ask Star Town City to collect fees. Wang Jinyang stopped thinking about this. He looked at the pitch-black hall and said, "Let's explore it first. When we get out later, old Zhao will say that he couldn't control it, and the hall closed itself." Li Hansong continued, "What about the Myriad Origins Hall? Take it away? After all, it's old Zhao's things. It should be returned to its rightful owner, right? If you think you can defeat 12 paragons, then you can take it away." Old Wang's expression was unfriendly. Even a fool would know that it was impossible to take it away. Star Town City valued the Myriad Origins Hall very much. This could be seen from many places. Fan Ping naturally understood this. He said loudly, "All right, let's not care about this for now. Let's explore the Myriad Origins Hall. As for the rest, we'll talk about it later. I've already informed them. I can't leave Star Town City for 3 hours, so they informed old Zhang. We've been here for a while now. Hang in there. Wait for old Zhang to come before we go out. Otherwise, if Star Town City gets greedy and kills us, we'll be finished." The so-called greedy was naturally referring to the Myriad Origins Hall. At this moment, in Fan Ping's eyes, this thing was his. No, it was old Zhao's. However, was there any difference between old Zhao's and his? You're tuning into the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.